Knowing full well there was something wrong with the pastries, the boy still ate them all just because he was eager to have a child with the crown prince. The little fool lived up to expectations by winning the competition and also retrieved his mother's keepsake for Chi-Jen. Chi-Jen never expected that such a fool could go to such lengths for him. The little fool clung to Chi-Jen, acting coy and cute. Brother Crown Prince, don't forget our bet. Tonight, you have to consummate with Yan Yan. Chi-Jen was shocked by the fool's understanding of consummation. Great system. Tonight, I'm going from point to zero. At night, Lin Shoyin finally entered the Crown Prince's chamber as he wished. The Crown Prince's bed was indeed big, soft, and fragrant. He happily rolled around on it a few times. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Someone claimed they were delivering pastries to the Crown Prince. Lin Shoyin sensed something was amiss. Delivering pastries at this hour? Blinking his innocent big eyes, Lin Shoyin said, Sister maid, you look unfamiliar. Yan Yan seems to have never seen you in the Eastern Palace before. He sensed the whiff of a conspiracy. The maid claimed she was specially sent by the emperor to deliver pastries to the Crown Prince. Lin Shoyin saw through it at once. So, do you need to watch the Crown Prince finish these pastries before you can leave? The maid praised the Crown Princess for being as smart as snow. But the next second, Lin Shoyin picked up the pastries and started eating, startling the maid. The system reminded me not to eat the pastries as they were drugged. Lin Shoyin said if I don't eat them, those bastards' plan will fail. If I eat them, Chi-Jen will have to thank me for saving his life. What a bargain, huh? But will this drug kill me? Will it be painful? The system hesitated. You won't die or be in pain. It's, you know, that thing. Lin Shoyin got it. According to the usual plot in novels, this pastry is most likely an aphrodisiac. The system puzzled. You guessed it and still ate it? This is a strong tonic. Lin Shoyin was so excited that he had a nosebleed. Damn, holy Buddhist land, these palace schemers really know how to play thrilling games. Meanwhile, Chi-Jen passed by a courtyard and remembered the scene from his childhood when he was dunked in a water vat by several princes. A meaningful smile appeared on his lips. He needed to find a way to give them a taste of their own medicine. Just then, Eunuch Shu reminded him it was late and cold outside. He should return to his room. Only then did Chi-Jen remember that the little fool was still waiting for him in the room. Is Lin Shoyin still being good? Eunuch Shu said that the emperor had sent an old and ugly chamberlain, but he had already been driven away. When Chi-Jen pushed open the door and entered, Lin Shoyin threw himself into his arms. The little fool picked up his bright, watery eyes and looked at Chi-Jen. Brother Crown Prince, you're back. Chi-Jen hummed indifferently. Lin Shoyin took his hand and walked inside. Brother Crown Prince, your hands are so cold. Let's go to sleep quickly. Before Chi-Jen could react, he simply and swiftly stripped off all his clothes. Chi-Jen had just taken off his outer garments and was lying on the bed when the little fool snuggled up to him and handed him the warmed jade pendant. Crown Prince brother, returning this to you. Chi-Jen grasped the jade pendant, which still retained the little fool's body heat. Crown Prince brother, are you happy? Chi-Jen responded with a faint, He was deeply touched. How long had it been since someone had cared for him so wholeheartedly? The little fool's eyes were filled with innocence. Crown Prince brother, smell me. I spent a long time in the temple today. Do I smell fragrant? Chi-Jen awkwardly turned over. It's been a tiring day. Sleep. Suddenly, he heard the little fool's heavy breathing. He snapped his eyes open, sat up, and cupped the little fool's face to check. His face was excessively hot. In the next second, the little fool wrapped his arms around his neck. Crown Prince brother, are you a furnace? Yan Yan feels so hot, so uncomfortable. Chi-Jen's expression darkened. Could it be that he was given a tonic? The former dog emperor often sent people to be by his side. He didn't expect even to use a fool. Chi-Jen jumped out of bed and shouted angrily, Shu Fuquan. Eunuch Shu hurried over. Chi-Jen frowned and said, take him away. Eunuch Shu earnestly advised, Your Highness, it's so cold outside. The crown princess is weak and cannot withstand the cold. Please reconsider. Lin Shoyin pretended to be aggrieved as he tugged at Chi-Jen's clothes, brother prince. Before he could finish speaking, Chi-Jen flung him away. Lin Shoyin rolled his eyes in anger, thinking Chi-Jen was heartless like a pig trotter's. He wrapped himself tightly in the blanket, acting shamelessly. Mother said, I belong to brother prince, and no one can touch my body. Chi-Jen glanced back coldly and said, take him away with the blanket. Eunuch Shu was embarrassed. Not daring to delay, he went over to take him away with the blanket. The little fool sobbed and cried, No, 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 brother prince, is Yan Yan poisoned? Will he die? Luckily, brother prince didn't eat those pastries. Chi-Jen looked at the empty plate on the table and understood at once. It turned out he just accidentally ate them, not with any ulterior motives. I misunderstood him. Just as the little fool was about to be taken out, Qi Zhen called him back and took him from Eunuch Shu's hands. Then he instructed Eunuch Shu that no one was allowed to enter. Out of Qi Zhen's sight, Lin Shoyan revealed a triumphant smirk. Heh, easily done. After Eunuch Shu exited, Qi Zhen suddenly uncovered the blanket over the little fool and pulled him into his embrace. You brought this on yourself. If you want to die, just run away. Backquote. The fool only wanted to grow chili peppers with the prince, but after the land was cleared, he realized the prince had other burdens. Qi Zhenlu grabbed the fool by the waist and pulled him up. The fool struggled to run as Qi Zhen's cold voice came. Run if you want to die. The fool was shocked into stillness, tears falling drop by drop. Why does brother prince bully me? Qi Zhen remained silent, gripping his waist tightly. Lin Shoyan cried out from the pinch. This big hoof is pinching so hard, does he want to kill me? His eyes reddened, his voice soft. Brother prince, it's getting hot. The fool looked at Qi Zhen pitifully. I'll be obedient from now on. I like brother prince, don't bully me, can't you feel sorry for me? A string snapped in Qi Zhen's mind. He grabbed the fool by the neck and pushed him down fiercely. The jade in his hand also fell to the ground. Qi Zhen, like a lion knocking down its prey, choked him. Lin Shoyan, you asked for this. Lin Shoyan shouted excitedly in his heart. It's finally coming, this moment is finally here. But soon he couldn't get excited anymore. His eyes wide as bells. Damn, the male lead is really moving forward with a burden. He didn't think twice and wanted to run. Although Qi Zhen's good looks were tempting, his big chili pepper made everything go dark. I must run now, or I'll really suffer, he just crawled out. But Qi Zhen caught his ankle and dragged him back. The fool cried out, Mom, help, save me. He wept and begged to be let go, but Qi Zhen was unmoved. With tears in his eyes, he accused Yan Yan. What did she do wrong? Qi Zhen, you only know how to bully me. The more he scolded Qi Zhen, the more vigorous Qi Zhen became. Really reckless. Afterwards, the little fool fell into a deep sleep from exhaustion, while Qi Zhen sat by the bed, loathing himself. Knowing well the dangers around him, harboring murderous intentions, he should not have acted, yet he couldn't control himself. The little fool slept soundly, tears still at the corners of his eyes, and his exposed skin was covered with red marks. Qi Zhen, troubled, put on his coat. He shouldn't and couldn't involve a fool in this chaos. After dressing neatly, he resolutely opened the door and left. The next day in the afternoon, the sun was shining bright. Lin Shoyan slowly woke up, feeling as if his body had fallen apart, with a sore back and weak, numb legs, uncomfortable everywhere. He felt as if he had turned into an O. Just then, Eunuch Shu came in with 2 attendants. The crown princess has awakened. He brought items prepared by the imperial kitchen and your favorite snacks. We've also invited Dr. Zhang to take your pulse. The crown prince, specifically, instructed that after you finish, I will take you to the hot springs behind the mountain to soak and relieve fatigue. Lin Shoyan showed a sweet, pleasant smile. Yan Yan, thank you, crown prince brother. Inwardly, he couldn't help but criticize Qi Zhen, that arrogant guy, is so easily manipulated by the S-system. The system expressed its disapproval as he headed to the back mountain to soak in the hot spring. He let out a comfortable sigh. Soaking in a hot spring at this time is truly enjoyable. Then, he and the system made a plan for Qi Zhen's corruption. Step 1. Seduce Qi Zhen to sleep with him. Step 2. Find someone to cheat with. Step 3. Deliberately let him find out. Perfect. Now that step 1 was completed, it was time for step 2. He chuckled, the sooner I get this done, the better. He pondered for a moment, why not find someone right here in the back mountain to do it again, and then get caught by Qi Zhen? He will definitely turn dark. As he was contemplating, suddenly a voice came from afar, keep your distance and stand guard. Without my permission, no one is allowed to come in. Upon seeing who it was, Lin Shoyan cursed internally. Damn it, it's the 5th prince. Why is he here? He grabbed his clothes and hurriedly hid behind a fake rock. What perfect timing. Should I just go out and seduce the 5th prince? Although that bastard is no good, putting on an act isn't a problem. Anyway, the 5th prince and Qi Zhen have such a bad relationship. If Qi Zhen finds out it's the 5th prince cheating on him, he will definitely turn dark in no time. The little fool excitedly clapped his hands. Let's do it. I'm such a genius. Just as he was about to step out, another voice reached his ears. Your Highness, you're so bad. He widened his eyes in disbelief. Damn, the 5th prince likes men too? Then snippets of their conversation drifted over. What the heck is going on now? The silly girl, trying to make her husband jealous, intended to seduce his arch-enemy to make him wear a green hat, but unexpectedly found the arch-enemy was in a steamy act with another man. The 5th prince asked if he or the emperor was greater. The silly girl was shocked, covering her mouth. Holy moly, that's some intense information. Upon seeing the wobbling 2 ounces of flesh on the 5th prince, the silly girl looked disgusted. System, I regret this. He's not even bigger than me, let alone compared to Chi-Gen. No way, I can't betray Chi-Gen with the 5th prince. That would be an insult to Chi-Gen. The system was speechless for a while. The silly girl couldn't stand it anymore and slipped away. As the saying goes, deep love entails strict responsibility. Maybe my favorability isn't enough with Chi-Gen. I need to boost it further to ensure he turns dark when betrayed. Anyway, finding a suitable person to cheat with in a short time isn't easy. Might as well tell him about the 5th prince first, offer it like a borrowed flower, and then boost his favorability again. Hee, I'm such a clever girl. The silly girl happily ran off to find Chi-Gen. In the corridor, Chi-Gen stood tall and proud, speaking to a subordinate. His expression was indifferent, his face frosty, giving off a keep-away vibe. The silly girl hardly dared to breathe. Wow, his expression is so scary. I feel like I could freeze if I get close. The system indicated he's always been like this. Little fool got upset. He wasn't like this last night. He calmed down. I'm not afraid of him anyway. At this moment, Chi-Gen also noticed him and waved his hand to dismiss the others. Lin Shoyin walked to Chi-Gen's side, tugged his sleeve. Crown Prince brother, Yan Yan has a secret to tell you. Chi-Gen looked indifferent. What is it? The little fool whispered mysteriously in his ear. I just saw the 5th prince. He let someone spit in his mouth. Chi-Gen doubted his ears, showing a bit of confusion. Where did you see this? Over by the hot spring. They were bathing. Chi-Gen frowned. Did they notice you? The little fool shook his head, indicating no. Then he feigned ignorance. Brother, why would someone spit in the 5th prince's mouth? Do they dislike him a lot? Can Yan Yan spit too? Chi-Gen angrily retorted, don't you dare. The little fool was startled. Oh, why so agitated? Chi-Gen asked again, did you see clearly? The little fool scratched his head, I saw clearly. The 5th prince even asked who's older, him or his majesty. He blinked his big eyes. Is the 5th prince as silly as Yan Yan? Can't even tell who's older, his majesty or himself. Chi-Gen awkwardly explained, that's not the kind of older he meant. Then, his usually straight lips twitched slightly, as if stifling a laugh. A few seconds later, he coughed discreetly. Fool, did you see who the 5th prince was with? The little fool shook his head, indicating no. Chi-Gen wondered why he came to tell him. The little fool hugged his arm, smiling happily. Yan Yan thinks it's a big secret, so I came to tell Crown Prince brother. Then he looked at Chi-Gen with innocent big eyes. Crown Prince brother, please don't bully Yan Yan like last night. If you want to teach Yan Yan a lesson, you can hit Yan Yan, but don't use the big stick anymore. It hurts, and it still hurts now. Backquote. Chi-Gen felt embarrassed. What nonsense are you talking about? He said. To his surprise, the little fool directly rubbed his butt and pitifully said, my butt still hurts. Can brother help me check when we get back? Chi-Gen was speechless. If it were a normal person making such lewd comments in broad daylight, he would have reprimanded them for being shameless. But this was a fool, who didn't even know what he was saying. Chi-Gen then angrily said, enough. Learn some manners when we get back. The little fool was confused. What the heck? I tell you a secret, and you tell me to learn manners? Do you even hear yourself? The little fool pouted. Brother, you didn't say I had to learn manners last night. Why do you keep bullying me? It still hurts. Suddenly, Chi-Gen stopped in his tracks, and the little fool bumped right into his back, holding his head pitifully. Ouch, that hurts. Chi-Gen's face turned red from all the lewd remarks. He tried to comfort himself. One cannot abandon a wife of humble origins. The little fool covered his face and giggled. Hee, the big ice block looks pretty cute when he's blushing. Suddenly, Chi-Gen shouted, Lin Shoyin, starting tomorrow, arrange for 10 tutors to teach you some manners. The little fool was dumbfounded, thinking, damn, this guy changes faces faster than a tornado. He was moved, thinking, is a second chance far away? Continuing from before, Chi-Gen gently tucked the little fool's stray hair behind his ear. Do you really want to let him go? The little fool looked up with clean, clear eyes at him. Does brother Crown Prince also want sugar cake? Chi-Gen shook his head and flicked his ear. The little fool shivered sensitively and glared at him reproachfully. Brother is bullying Yan Yan again. Chi-Gen felt joyful. He found the little fool amusing. Then he tapped his nose. He realized clearly that he had fallen for the little fool. In these tumultuous times when he couldn't even protect himself, he had someone he liked. He wanted to keep him by his side. Every tear the little fool had just shed made him retreat in defeat. After being tense for so many years, it was rare to have someone he cared about. Maybe he could indulge himself for once. He was the crown prince, and he was the crown princess. We had bowed to heaven and earth, drank the wedding wine, and consummated the marriage. We conform to the rights and laws, it's only natural and right. Qi Zhen asked Lin Shou-yan, don't you want to sign the separation agreement? The little fool shook his head like a rattledrum, no. Qi Zhen gently held Lin Shou-yan's hand, then we won't separate. Fortunately, he was a fool, he could be coaxed back with sugar and snacks. And his pure, clean eyes would only look at me, not at others. Lin Shou-yan didn't know about Qi Zhen's inner turmoil at that moment. He smiled brightly, when Yan Yan gets old, he still wants to go shopping with brother Crown Prince. But inside, he was furiously complaining, this big pig trotter, changing his mind every moment, is really hard to figure out. Qi Zhen held his hand, at that time, we couldn't possibly need a car, the streets would be plastered with missing person posters. The little fool didn't understand why. Because Yan Yan is a fool, he would definitely get lost. The little fool was displeased, swinging his tiny fists at Qi Zhen. Brother always calls Yan Yan stupid. Yan Yan won't come back smart. Brother, say it quickly, even a silly baby is cute. Say it. Qi Zhen frowned slightly, lifted his chin and whispered sternly, presumptuous. The little fool immediately cowered. Ah, I played too much again. Unexpectedly, the next second, Qi Zhen lifted his chin and kissed him. After the kiss, Qi Zhen whispered in his ear, a silly baby is also very cute. Lin Shouyan stood stunned, cursing, how is he so good at flirting? Unbearable, he really wanted to devour Qi Zhen. Cheating or whatever, leave that for tomorrow. Today, I'll eat Qi Zhen first. He stepped forward and pecked Qi Zhen on the cheek. Thank you, brother. The scene shifts, a chair in the room is knocked over. Qi Zhen kisses the little fool while moving inward. His kisses were fierce, with a do-or-die attitude. The little fool gasped for air, Prince brother, you bit me and it hurt. Qi Zhen's fingertips rubbed back and forth on his lips. Sparks and lightning all the way, the little fool shivered. Unexpectedly, Qi Zhen leaned down and kissed him again. The little fool's nosebleed gushed. Damn, a collarbone kiss, this man is too skilled. I don't care, this time it's him square root me. Lin Shouyan, looking up, actively cupped his face, responding to him. After a while, Qi Zhen finally let him go. He looked at Qi Zhen's calm expression and felt really annoyed. How could this guy look as if nothing happened? In contrast, his own legs were weak, and he could only lean on Qi Zhen to avoid falling. Qi Zhen's learning ability was progressing rapidly. No wonder I saw him as a top potential stock. This wave of book transmigration was totally worth it. Qi Zhen gently placed him on the couch. Just when Lin Shouyan thought Qi Zhen was going to make a move, Qi Zhen said, I still have official duties to handle. Stay here and behave tonight. Don't bother me again. Lin Shouyan was completely dumbfounded. Damn, after teasing someone like this, you just turn around and leave? Where's the morality, the integrity of a strong man? As a result, Qi Zhen sat by the bed reading a book, while Lin Shouyan lay silently on the bed, feeling neglected. After a long time, Qi Zhen finally blew out the candles. He walked to the bedside and looked at Lin Shouyan. Since he had already decided to keep him around, there was no need to suppress himself anymore. He could just wait for the little fool to come to him on his own. But after undressing and getting into bed, the little fool still didn't make a move. He called out suggestively, Lin Shouyan, I finished my official duties. But the little fool still didn't respond. Qi Zhen's mood instantly soured. He had been so skilled before. Why isn't he coming to me now? Qi Zhen was quite displeased, his brows furrowing in frustration. He then sighed, how could I forget he's an idiot who doesn't understand love or romance? He used to think the little fool was into him. Now that he thought about it, it was really foolish. The little fool's second bloom, and spent the whole night bumping cars with the Crown Prince. Continuing from last time, Qi Zhen noticed he was still wearing his outer clothes while sleeping, so he raised his hand to help him take them off. The little fool woke up immediately. He then turned his head and smiled at him. Yan Yan wasn't planning to sleep earlier, just waiting for brother. He fell asleep while waiting. Then he quickly took off his clothes, lying far away from Qi Zhen. Qi Zhen was speechless. Lying so far away, there's a draft in between. Lin Shouyan immediately crawled to Qi Zhen's side. It turns out that pretending to be a fool before needs to be repaid. So brother is cold, then Yan Yan will sleep close to brother. Lin Shouyan drowsily leaned in Qi Zhen's arms. Brother Crown Prince, your bed is really comfortable. Qi Zhen frowned, seeming to understand something. You only like my bed? Lin Shouyan murmured softly, it's fragrant and soft, who wouldn't like it? Qi Zhen got a little angry. You really need discipline. Lin Shouyan's drowsy brain was a bit overloaded. He hugged Qi Zhen's waist, very obediently snuggling up to him. Brother Crown Prince, do you want to spank Yan Yan? But don't kick me out, Yan Yan is too sleepy. Qi Zhen felt a bit helpless, his expression a bit complicated, realizing he actually liked this fool who only cared about the bed, not the person. Qi Zhen, in a fit of frustration, turned sideways and pinched his plump and elastic buttocks. The little fool yelped in pain, and his sleepiness instantly dissipated. "Brother Crown Prince, what are you doing?" Qi Zhen closed his eyes and coldly said, "Sleep." Lin Xiaoyan looked at the big hand on his waist and worriedly said, "Brother, can you move your hand? It's hard for Yan Yan to sleep like this." He couldn't help but think inwardly, feeling a strong sense of danger, afraid that he would be pinched awake again after falling asleep. Qi Zhen opened his eyes and stared at him for 2 seconds. The roguish Lin Xiaoyan was stunned, then realized that Qi Zhen might have misunderstood something. Could he think that I'm being kept awake by his teasing? He couldn't help but complain inwardly. If you hadn't kissed me and then ignored me, I could be even more roguish now. He pretended not to understand and asked, "Brother, what does roguish mean exactly? Can you teach Yan Yan?" Qi Zhen sighed helplessly. "Just sleep, you don't need to learn these things. Tomorrow I'll have someone move your things over. In the future, if I'm not here, don't leave this courtyard." Lin Xiaoyan was dumbfounded. This is a place of confinement. He's been transferred from the west courtyard to this one. Can't you also not go out? Qi Zhen asked him puzzledly. Why is the crown prince so smart and good looking? What if someone snatches you away when you go out? Who will buy candy for Yan Yan? Qi Zhen was speechless. Could I be snatched away just by going out once? The little fool nodded seriously. You don't know, in the original novel, there wasn't a single one who didn't want to climb up to you. There was even one. The little fool looked innocent. Since the crown prince wants Yan Yan not to go out, you also shouldn't look at other pretty girls. Yan Yan is not worse than them. Qi Zhen found it amusing and chuckled. How can you compare? Your small figure is no match for woman's. Qi Zhen's face, with a 360-degree flawless angle, and him talking to himself with a smile, made Lin Xiaoyan's thoughts of disappearing come back instantly. I want to eat, said the little fool with hands on hips. They just have more up top than Yan Yan, but Yan Yan has more face than them, so it evens out. Qi Zhen couldn't help but feel embarrassed. Would you shut up? Lin Xiaoyan wouldn't. He looked pure on the surface, but his bad intentions were real. Then, Crown Prince, check if Yan Yan has 2 liangs. But it needs to be a trade. Yan Yan has wanted to hug the Crown Prince's third leg for a long time. Where's the leg? Show Yan Yan. Qi Zhen maintained a calm facade, but inside, he was already a storm of emotions, ready to burst forth. He pinched the little fool in annoyance and then whispered a warning. From now on, you are not allowed to say such things to me outside of heaven or our room. The little fool looked at him with big watery eyes. But I can say it now, right? Lin Xiaoyan was overjoyed inside. The hand clinging to my leg is so hot. It seems you've been enduring quite hard. He took advantage of Qi Zhen being an upright gentleman who wouldn't do anything to him and pushed his luck. So, will you trade or not? Qi Zhen was at his wit's end. No trade. The little fool added fuel to the fire. Why not? Is it because brother is unwilling to trade with me? Or is there already a lady you fancy? Perhaps she has more than 2 liangs, so you don't want Yan Yan anymore? Qi Zhen closed his eyes, trying to stay calm, but ultimately, he couldn't manage it. He was eager for you to hold him right now. Then he leaned in for a kiss with a voice so seductive it was deadly. Lin Xiaoyan felt like it was the end of him. He suspected that the information the system provided Qi Zhen must have been 30 pages long. Jealous, the silly boy called another, brother, and the prince got jealous. The consequences are serious. Picking up where Lin Xiaoyan left off, waking up sore all over, he saw Qi Zhen getting dressed. Qi Zhen saw him awake and looked back, instructing them to help you move things in the afternoon. Lin Xiaoyan couldn't accept it. Last night he was mesmerized by Qi Zhen's charm. Everyone in this courtyard is his confidant. None of them would dare to cross him. He sat up and refused to move. Qi Zhen suspiciously asked why. Lin Xiaoyan argued vehemently, Prince brother bullied me last night. I don't want to deal with you. Qi Zhen coldly rejected him. You must move. The silly boy was furious. Prince brother is being unreasonable. Qi Zhen said, why reason with a fool? Lin Xiaoyan was frustrated, defeated once again by this identity of a fool. He huffed and turned over, not sure if the movement was too big. He pulled something and winced in pain. Qi Zhen quickly came over and bent down to ask if he was in pain. The silly boy mumbled and buried himself in the blankets, angry at brother Yan, not letting him see. Qi Zhen didn't insist. He instructed the eunuch Shu to add a couple more clothes for the silly boy. Before leaving, he whispered an instruction not to bring the maid called Haitang along. Eunuch Shu bowed and accepted the order. As the year-end approached and Qi Zhen was busy, he realized on the 3rd day that the silly boy was avoiding him. So, on his way back to the palace, he bought the sweets the silly boy liked, and even got a toy, hoping that would cheer him up. As soon as he returned to the palace, he saw the little fool happily playing with someone else. That person was the son of the minister's household, named Zhou Zudong, one of Qizhen's few friends. The little fool seemed to really like him, even bringing out his precious box of treasures, sticking close to him with a big smile. Qizhen's expression darkened at the sight, emanating a cold aura. The little fool was also stunned when he saw him return. Zhou Zudong smiled as he stepped forward to greet, "Your Highness, I never realized your crown princess was so adorable and amusing." Qizhen responded with a faint, and then tossed the little hawk in his hand to the little fool, saying, "Go play." The little fool glanced reluctantly at Zhou Zudong. What a perfect candidate for a boyfriend, such a pity. After the little fool left, Qizhen looked at Zhou Zudong expressionlessly and asked, "Any news?" Zhou Zudong quickly took out a letter from his chest, saying, "Your Highness, the matter you entrusted me to investigate has some leads. There indeed is such a male favorite, involved with both His Majesty and the fifth prince." Qizhen took the letter and quickly read through it. After a while, Zhou Zudong looked at Qizhen and said, "Earlier, the crown princess said he felt sorry for himself, with a broken mouth and a hurt waist, yet still warming your bed every night." Qizhen's hand holding the teacup froze. "Did you listen to his nonsense?" Zhou Zudong laughed, but he looked so innocent and naive, it's really hard to argue with him. "When he first married into the Eastern Palace, I thought he was just a pretty face. Who knew he'd be such an adorable and interesting person?" Qizhen's face darkened a bit. "Very well, you've praised him again." As Zhou Zudong was leaving, the little fool suddenly appeared, leaning on the door frame and shyly saying, "Zudong, are you leaving, brother? When will you come play with Yan Yan again?" Qizhen's face turned icy. "Brother? Does he call everyone brother?" Zhou Zudong was sweating profusely and quickly took his leave, feeling that if he didn't leave now, it would be inappropriate. As soon as Zhou Zudong left, the little fool ran up with the little hawk and said, "Crown Prince brother, this little hawk is so much fun, thank you, Crown Prince brother." Qizhen found the previously sweet and soft address now just grating to the ears. Backquote, backquote, backquote. He angrily said, "Is everyone your brother? If you call others brother, you won't have the little eagle anymore." The little fool pouted and quickly covered the little eagle. Wow, his tone is so serious. Could he really be angry? He hurriedly approached Qizhen and said, "Yan Yan won't call others that anymore. Brother, don't be angry. Yan Yan's mouth is for biting." Yan Yan had just eaten sweet cakes, so it was sweet. Qizhen frowned, thinking that if more people discovered his goodness, they might all want to keep him for themselves. The little fool didn't understand love, which was fine, but he needed to know the rules between husband and wife. Qizhen raised his hand to pinch his chin. "Some things can only be done with me. I will teach you slowly." Eunuch Shu sensibly closed the door and left, not forgetting to sigh inwardly before leaving. No wonder he's a fool, he has a lot of courage. Just before the door was fully closed, he saw the crown prince pick up that hand which had held a sword, drawn a bow, and been stained with blood, now gently resting on the crown princess's head. Shu Fuquan thought to himself, our crown princess might really live up to the title. The little fool truly managed to captivate the crown prince thoroughly. As a result, that night after Qizhen fell asleep, he dreamt of various cheesy talents. In the past few days, Qizhen had invited new teachers to teach Lin Shoyan the rules. The teacher sternly taught that the crown princess and crown prince are married, but in front of outsiders, they also need to observe proper etiquette. Lin Shoyan nodded numbly, responding with, yeah, okay. Lin Shoyan numbly nodded again and again. At this moment, the system popped up, "Aren't you done yet?" Lin Shoyan wanted to cry as Zhou Zudong didn't come. It's hard to find a competent person, and he's gone. The system comforted, "Don't panic, the New Year's Eve banquet is coming. You'll definitely enter the palace then. Don't be anxious. By the way, the information you requested has just been sent to Qizhen. He'll dream about it tonight." Lin Shoyan was dumbfounded. "You hadn't sent it before?" The system indicated it had not. Lin Shoyan got agitated. "You hadn't sent it and it almost paralyzed me from the stress." He looked utterly despondent. "Can it be retracted now?" The system indicated that this function was not developed yet. Suddenly, the gentleman sternly said, "Crown Princess, don't be distracted. Did you remember everything I just taught?" Lin Shoyan forced a laugh. "Yes, I remember," he said unnaturally. "Next, I will teach you how to behave when alone." Lin Shoyan sighed deeply, thinking that he must take on more historical roles after returning, or else he'd have to self-study. At that moment, the gentleman stroked his goatee. "Crown Princess, when you enter and see the Crown Prince, you should hug or kiss him first. After receiving something from the Crown Prince, besides thanking him, you should also give a kiss." Lin Shoyan was completely dumbfounded. "What the heck is this? Look at this, he really thinks I'm a fool." The gentleman continued earnestly, "Since the Crown Princess cannot bear children, you should serve the Crown Prince wholeheartedly during intimate moments. Lin Shoyin was speechless. What kind of rules are these? How are they different from what I know? The old gentleman blushed as he spoke, wiping sweat with a handkerchief. I don't want this either, but it's the Crown Prince's command. To put it bluntly, the Crown Princess doesn't understand. The gentleman babbled on in his ear for a while. Even with Lin Shoyin's thick skin, he blushed deeply. Being a grown man, he was forced to listen to these cheesy things for 2 hours. If he didn't demonstrate what he learned to Qi Zhen tonight, it would be an injustice to his own ears. That evening, Qi Zhen walked towards the room, holding a toy wooden horse. As soon as he pushed the door open and entered, the silly boy immediately threw himself into his arms and planted a loud kiss on his face. Immediately picking up a beaming face, she looked at Qi Zhen. Crown Prince brother, you're back. Are you tired today? Lin Shoyin is fully in character, displaying all her charm. Crown Prince brother, do you want to eat first or start with Yan Yan? Qi Zhen's eyes widened in disbelief, almost ready to throw out this disgraceful crown princess. With a scolding on the tip of his tongue, he suddenly remembered what the tutor mentioned yesterday. He had asked the tutor to teach the little fool the principle that a wife should follow her husband. Perhaps the tutor had been too zealous, resulting in this effect. But he didn't find it annoying. Qi Zhen said helplessly, is this all you've learned? The little fool looked innocent. Brother, don't you like me this way? Qi Zhen chuckled awkwardly. How could he respond to such a direct question? If he casually said he didn't like it, someone else might realize it was just marital teasing. But Lin Shoyin was foolish and would take it seriously. Qi Zhen averted his gaze unnaturally. I never said I didn't like it. The little fool beamed with joy. Thank you, brother. Then he gazed at Qi Zhen with eyes full of affection. Following that, Qi Zhen bent down and swept him up into a bridal carry. Lin Shoyin let out a startled cry. Unprepared, Crown Prince brother. Qi Zhen looked at him tenderly. Dinner is already served. Lin Shoyin was stunned. What did he mean by that? Could it mean he had finished eating, so now it was time to eat him? That night, after Qi Zhen fell asleep, he dreamt of all sorts of cheese talents and hands bound in pleats, playing quite lavishly. The sunlight shone on Qi Zhen's face, making him feel very warm all over. By the time he woke up, the rooster had already crowed for a while. He looked at the little fool still asleep, reminiscing about last night's dream. After a moment, he formed a circle with his thumb and forefinger, measuring it against Lin Shoyin's sleeping mouth. It seems, it won't fit. Suddenly, Lin Shoyin leaned toward him, murmuring sweetly in his dream, brother. Qi Zhen gently placed a kiss on his forehead. Sleep a bit more, I'll head to court first. The crown prince was teaching the little fool to write, but somehow they veered off track. Continuing from before, Lin Shoyin was awakened by the nanny. As he was groggy, he vaguely heard someone call, little beauty. Lin Shoyin perked his ears and heard Xu Fuquan's panicked voice, young Master Zhou, you can't call the crown princess that. Why not? Isn't he good looking? Just don't tell your highness. When he heard that Zhou Zudong came to play with him, Lin Shoyin's fox-like tail wagged happily. Zhou Zudong waved at him with a smile. Little Lin, his highness asked me to bring roast chicken from Pinqiang Tower. It's already being plated in the kitchen. Upon hearing the words roast chicken, Lin Shoyin's eyes lit up and he dashed out. Young Master Zhou, there's no time to lose, let's eat the roast chicken right away. Zhou Zudong grabbed him by the back of his collar and laughed. Why aren't you calling me brother anymore? Lin Shoyin clenched his little fists. The crown prince brother won't let me. Zhou Zudong grinned. It's not urgent to eat roast chicken, there's a condition. His highness asked me to teach you to write. Backquote. Lin Shoyin slightly furrowed his brows. System, what's going on? Why did Qi Zhen specifically ask Zhou Zudong to watch over me? Could it be that he has seen through my plan and is just playing along? The system replied that it didn't know either. Suddenly, Zhou Zudong forcefully pressed him into the chair. Why is the crown princess spacing out? The characters I'm teaching you today are not easy. Lin Shoyin was internally collapsing. This is not going to work, I need to switch people. His personality is as creepy as his eyes. It's too frightening. It wasn't until Qi Zhen returned to the residence that the three of them started lunch. Zhou Zudong mentioned that Lin was very well behaved today, didn't run around, and didn't leave the house. However, when I was teaching him to write, he seemed lethargic, as if he had no energy. Upon hearing this, Qi Zhen's lips curled into a small smile, which quickly faded. Lin Shoyin noticed him smiling. He seriously suspected that Qi Zhen was laughing at his inability to handle the situation. How infuriating. Qi Zhen said it was fine, and that he could teach him again in the afternoon. Lin Shoyin's face immediately fell. Not again. Seeing his displeasure, Qi Zhen picked up a large chicken leg and gave it to him. Why don't you like spending time with me? Lin Shoyin quickly put on a happy face and, holding Qi Zhen's arm, acted coquettishly, saying, Yan Yan likes spending time with brother the most. Qi Zhen's mood immediately improved. Zhou Zudong was speechless. Good grief, he's declaring his sovereignty in front of me again. He deliberately said sourly, young Master Lin, I accompanied you for half a day too. Why don't you share the chicken leg with me? Lin Xiaoyan shook his head protectively. Yan Yan only shares with brother. Zhou Zudong clutched his chest and shouted, my lonely heart is in pain. Lin Xiaoyan thought, you can't have an affair with me. If I share with you, Qi Zhen will beat me up. After Zhou Zudong left, Qi Zhen really did bring Lin Xiaoyan to sit at the desk to teach him how to write. The first character he wrote was Lin Xiaoyan's name. Qi Zhen's handwriting was quite beautiful, vigorous and forceful. If it were in modern times, it could probably sell for a good price. As he was thinking about how to price it, Qi Zhen's warm hand was on his forehead, pushing gently. Can you recognize it when we're this close? Lin Xiaoyan grabbed Qi Zhen's hand and acted coquettishly, saying, brother, I don't want to write anymore. I want to do something else. He pointed at himself, his little head full of romantic thoughts. For example, I, Qi Zhen, speak calmly. The new year is approaching, and according to tradition, we should write names on sky lanterns. Are you planning to do like the wish plaques at Qianshan Temple and draw a picture on it? Lin Xiaoyan speechlessly curled his lips. I didn't draw any pictures, okay? It's all Xu Fuquan's rumors. Qi Zhen bent down and took his hand. All right, let me teach you how to write my name. Just learn these two characters today. Qi Zhen picked up the brush and carefully wrote ZG on the paper. Lin Xiaoyan knew this was Qi Zhen's courtesy name. Forced to learn so much etiquette these days, he understood that a courtesy name had significant meaning to ancient people, used only among those closest to them. Lin Xiaoyan pointed at the character Ji and said, brother, this character has so many strokes. Qi Zhen helped him roll up his sleeves. Yes, so you need to learn it seriously. Stop thinking about frivolous things. Lin Xiaoyan looked puzzled. What frivolous things am I thinking about? He turned his head abruptly and saw Qi Zhen's ears blushing. Qi Zhen frowned. Why are you staring at me? The two shared a silent gaze. With each breath, a warm feeling stretched between them. Lin Xiaoyan thought, who exactly is the one being frivolous here? The naive Lin Xiaoyan looked at Qi Zhen innocently. Brother, do you dislike frivolous things? Is it only Yan Yan who enjoys them? Clearly, you also. He hadn't finished speaking when Qi Zhen couldn't bear it any longer. With one hand holding a brush, he painted 2 strokes on Lin Xiaoyan's cheek, turning him instantly into a painted cat. Brother is bullying me. If brother doesn't like Yan Yan, find someone else. Qi Zhen's expression darkened instantly. He coldly said, you dare? Lin Xiaoyan mischievously smeared the ink from his face onto Qi Zhen's sleeve. I dare not, I dare not. Yan Yan has been learning so hard. Qi Zhen gave him a deep look and said, let's talk after nightfall. The little fool excitedly raised his hands and cheered. Qi Zhen truly is the dominant male lead. Since he figured it out, eating 5 meals a night is still not enough for him, and he never repeats the same meal, always varying the types of cheese. At night, Lin Xiaoyan acts like a little kitty, constantly snuggling into Qi Zhen's arms. Brother said there would be something tonight, but Qi Zhen's eyes were fixed on his book the whole time. Lin Xiaoyan tried every trick. Qi Zhen remains unmoved, steady as an old dog, refusing to give in. Lin Xiaoyan, frustrated by the abstinence, thought he could knock him over with a kick. Then Qi Zhen lifted his deep eyes to look at him and asked in a hoarse voice, can you study properly tomorrow? Lin Xiaoyan immediately responded, yes, yes, yes. Qi Zhen helplessly poked his head. You just think if you get tired tonight, you won't have to study tomorrow. The little fool blinked mischievously. I'm doomed. He saw right through me. Then Qi Zhen's eyes darkened as he lifted his chin. With great mercy, he kissed him on the lips. After parting, Qi Zhen looked at him tenderly and called him by a pet name. Lin Xiaoyan blurted out, brother, without thinking. Qi Zhen was clearly unsatisfied with this response. He sat motionless. Lin Xiaoyan realized that no movement meant dissatisfaction. Lin Xiaoyan suddenly threw himself into his arms, clung to his neck, and whispered, husband, in his ear. Qi Zhen stiffened. He had intended for him to call the nickname he just taught, but this was indeed a pleasant surprise. Qi Zhen's mind snapped, and holding the silly boy, he bit his ear hard, then hoarsely said, say it again. Lin Xiaoyan, feeling the pain from the bite, protested, lighter, husband. Qi Zhen asked, have you wanted to call me that for a long time? The silly boy speechlessly responded, weren't you the one who asked me to call you that? At this moment, Qi Zhen's mind was filled with the dream from last night, all sorts of silly images of him. He gazed deeply at Lin Xiaoyan. Tonight, I'll let you call me as much as you want. Lin Xiaoyan really wanted to say no need, really no need, as the red quilt tossed and the candlelight flickered until dawn. The next morning, the sunlight was bright. Lin Xiaoyan tearfully wiped his tears. I figured out the third way to complete the task. The system fell silent. Lin Shoyin gritted his teeth. Might as well end Qi Zhen's, once and for all. The system advised, don't be emotional, you started this. Lin Shoyin covered his face and wept bitterly. I must have violated some celestial rule in my past life. Otherwise why would I have to endure such a huge ordeal? The system was speechless. Isn't this what you wanted? Lin Shoyin complained, you don't know. He used 5 different cheeses last night, a whole 5, it was torture. The system noted, it seems the data I dream fed him worked. Lin Shoyin completely gave in, so it turns out it's an enhanced version of Qi Zhen. My respects, I concede, I'm no match for him. The system, nearly laughing its head off, advised him to be careful and said it would come over to assist as Chinese New Year approached. Lin Shoyin nodded, I should get up too. If I want to reciprocate Qi Zhen's gesture, I should do so with effort. On the other side, Qi Zhen instructed eunuch Shu to use the newly tribute Yunjin fabric to make a new set of clothes for Lin Shoyin. At that moment, Lin Shoyin's voice came from not far away, Brother Crown Prince. Yan Yan wants to learn a new character. Can you write it for Yan Yan? Qi Zhen was in a good mood, pleased that he was taking the initiative to learn. He asked, which character? The silly boy, excited, replied, Yan Yan wants to learn the character for refreshing. Qi Zhen, puzzled, asked, why that character? The silly boy lunged and hugged his neck, because last night, Brother Crown Prince made Yan Yan feel so good. Before he could finish, Qi Zhen quickly covered his mouth. Flustered, Qi Zhen was completely thrown off. It was one thing for the silly boy to whisper in his ear at night, but to speak so freely in broad daylight was too much. Eunuch Shu and Gigi couldn't help but burst into laughter. Their crown princess really dared to say anything. The silly boy continued, if not refreshing, then fierce is fine too. Qi Zhen, despising this embarrassing crown princess, gritted his teeth and said, shut up. Eunuch Shu and Gigi were trying to laugh, feeling both embarrassed for Lin Shoyin and worried for the crown prince, their faces contorted with mixed emotions. Qi Zhen glanced back, giving them a cold look. The two immediately composed themselves, returning to normal. The silly boy pretended to be pure and innocent, then watched as Qi Zhen strode away. Internally, he was rolling with laughter, ha ha ha. Teasing Qi Zhen is so much fun. Little did he expect, Qi Zhen, who had just left, hurried back and said, practice writing these 3 lines. Lin Shoyin was struck as if by lightning, suddenly unable to laugh. He hurriedly pulled Qi Zhen to act coquettishly, but Qi Zhen interrupted him directly. Whatever you want to write, just tell me. I can copy down those words you said last night, so you can learn from them. Lin Shoyin quickly laughed and said, no, he couldn't help but sigh. Qi Ziji is really too petty. The crown prince is going to sleep in separate beds from the fool, in the back garden of the Eastern Palace. Qi Zhen remembered the emperor's thunderous rage from yesterday. The 5th prince illegally occupied the common people's fields, used official boats to smuggle private salt, and even abducted and insulted a girl to death. Several crimes combined, yet the old emperor only locked him up in the house of royal relatives. If he wants to turn over a new leaf, there's still a chance. He himself must not take it lightly. He must never take things lightly. After a busy day, Qi Zhen felt tired and wanted to check on Lin Shoyin's progress in learning to write. As he passed by a courtyard, he suddenly heard 2 maids discussing something. He could not help but slow down. The maids mentioned that the bedding in the crown prince's sleeping quarters had been changed very frequently these days, several times a day, all because they were wed by the crown princess. Our prince is truly a dragon among men, unmatched in all aspects. Hearing this made Qi Zhen blush. The maids continued, both the prince and the crown princess are so distinguished. It would be great if they could have a child. The crown princess had mentioned wanting to bear a child for his highness. Could it really be possible? If so, our eastern palace might soon have a new little master. Shouldn't we also start preparing the pregnancy medicine? Qi Zhen, speechless, touched his forehead. These people were really becoming lawless. How could he have fallen for such a disgraceful fool? He wanted to hit him as he pushed open the door with a dark face. The fool, seeing him return, smiled happily. Brother is back. Yan Yan has been diligent and practiced all day. After saying this, he unfolded the paper in his hand for Qi Zhen to see. On the paper were their names with a big character shuang in between. In the middle was a big character shuang. The fool, seeking praise, said, brother did not teach me the shuang character, so I asked the nanny to teach me. Isn't Yan Yan a clever little egg? Qi Zhen, with a face full of black lines, really wanted to hit him. He frowned and gestured for the fool to stop. He needed a moment to calm down. He walked to the bed and seeing the bedding, he could not help but think of the maid's words again. Ever since the crown princess moved into his highness's courtyard, the workload in the laundry room had multiplied. He felt very irritable. He wanted to pour himself a cup of tea to calm down, but looking at the teacup, he somehow thought of the maid's mention of pregnancy medicine again. Qi Zhen angrily punched the wall. He felt something was wrong with himself. Why did he always think about these improper things? At this moment, the little fool came up to him again. "Brother Crown Prince, are you feeling unwell?" He raised his hand to feel Qi Zhen's forehead. Qi Zhen took this opportunity to claim he was sick, fearing he might pass the illness to him. So they should sleep separately tonight. After saying this, he asked eunuch Shu to add another quilt for them. When they stood in front of the bed looking at the quilts, both of them were silent for a moment. Qi Zhen glanced at the little fool beside him. Was he unhappy about sleeping separately? How should he comfort him, while he was thinking about comforting words? The little fool happily burrowed into the quilt. Then he poked his head out and gave Qi Zhen a kiss on the lips, saying, "Good night, brother." He did not seem unhappy at all. Lin Shoyan inwardly cheered, "Great, I can finally rest tonight." At night, Qi Zhen was depressed for a long time and could not sleep. He stared at the bed curtain in the dark for a long time. He turned to look at the little fool sleeping soundly beside him, feeling inexplicably annoyed. So he reached out and pulled the little fool into his own quilt, then hugged him tightly, a satisfied smile appearing on his lips. The next morning, a guard hurriedly reported that eunuch Shu had found the person he was looking for. Qi Zhen opened his eyes and looked at the little fool beside him. Fearing he might wake him, he gently withdrew his hand. After dressing up, he got up to handle official business. In the corridor, the guard following Qi Zhen said, "Your Highness, the fifth prince has submitted a letter of apology to His Majesty and has voluntarily asked you to assign someone to supervise him." Qi Zhen sneered upon hearing this. "Let my people supervise him. If anything happens to him during this period, it will be blamed on me." That is quite a clever plan. The guard suggested, "Your Highness, if we do not take this opportunity to eliminate the fifth prince, he will surely become a major threat in the future." Qi Zhen stood in the cold wind. At this moment, Xu Fuquan brought a poorly dressed man. The man's face was pale, and when he saw Qi Zhen, he knelt down, trembling all over. Xu Fuquan told Qi Zhen that this man was the brother of the woman who was humiliated to death by the fifth prince. Qi Zhen looked at him. "Did you voluntarily decide to do this?" The man, with tears in his eyes, replied, "Yes, Your Highness. Even if it means death, I must avenge my sister." Qi Zhen raised his hand to help him up. "Tomorrow at the clan office, someone will arrange everything for you. I will make it quick." The man thanked him, "Your Highness, thank you." The little fool was like a ray of light, adding a touch of color to Qi Zhen's lonely and bleak life. 3 days later, an incident occurred at the clan office. A man disguised as a food delivery person killed the fifth prince. Fortunately, the crown prince arrived in time. He shot the man through the heart with an arrow, killing him instantly. The man seemed relieved, with a smile on his lips. The guard behind Qi Zhen panicked, "Your Highness, there is blood on you." Qi Zhen's eyes darkened. "No matter. Maintain the current situation at the scene. No one is allowed to enter or leave the clan office. I need to report to the emperor." In the imperial study, Qi Zhen knelt down and pleaded guilty. "I came too late and could not protect my fifth brother. Please punish me, father." Several officials then pleaded, "Your Majesty, we heard that the assailant was avenging his sister, with a clear motive to kill the fifth prince." The old emperor trembled with rage in the imperial study, filled with murderous intent. Everyone knew the truth, but he never expected that Qi Zhen would really dare to eliminate the fifth prince so decisively. He publicly shot the assailant to silence him, with plenty of witnesses. He did everything flawlessly on the surface. Even if the emperor wanted to punish him, he had to first deal with the officials' request to punish the more culpable officials of the clan court. Whether punished or not, Qi Zhen had already gained. The old emperor was furious, wishing he could kill Qi Zhen. Under immense pressure, the emperor only punished Qi Zhen with a month's house arrest, while the incompetent officials of the clan court were demoted. Qi Zhen and the officials accepted the decree, and expressed their gratitude. This risky move made the crown prince's faction break out in cold sweat. Zhou Zudong, having heard the news, anxiously paced outside the palace walls. Only when he saw Qi Zhen come out safely did he finally breathe a long sigh of relief. Just as Zhou Zudong was about to step forward to offer some comfort, a voice suddenly called out from behind. "Qi Zhen, stop right there." It was Princess Zhaoyang, the only relative Qi Zhen had trusted in his childhood. She stood angrily by Qi Zhen's carriage and questioned coldly, "They say the crown prince is calm and composed, unflinching even if Mount Tai collapses. Now it seems, he truly deserves such praise. Not a tear shed for his brother's death, not a hint of sorrow. Fifth brother's birth mother, Consort Li, has fainted several times from crying and even threatened to have you buried with him." Zhou Zudong sternly replied, "Princess, please watch your words. Some things should not be said carelessly." The princess retorted coldly. "The crown prince has endured for years, even marrying a male consort, just to wait for this day. He must be overjoyed inside. Can't I congratulate my childhood friend on his success?" Her sarcastic tone was unmistakable. She pulled an object from her sleeve, startling Zhou Zudong so much that he nearly drew his sword. Before he could see what it was, she threw it. The object hit the carriage and fell to the ground. Zhou Zudong finally saw clearly that it was a small purse. Qi Zhen looked down, his gaze landing on the purse. "Prince Zhao Yong may not remember, this is a peace charm I prayed for at the temple when I was a child. There were two, I gave you one, and you said you would keep it safe. But now, Zhao Yong, I dare not possess the same item as the prince." After saying this, Zhao Yong casually bowed and took his leave. Qi Zhen felt choked up. He remembered how Zhao Yong used to protect him when they were children, which is why he treated him well and trusted him. But the treacherous emperor once exploited this trust to poison him. Since then, he no longer trusted anyone and gradually distanced himself from Zhao Yong. Zhou Zudong picked up the purse from the ground and asked, "Your Highness." "Princess Zhao Yong, this purse." Qi Zhen lowered the carriage curtain. "Throw it away." Zhou Zudong frowned. Watching the horse carriage moving away, Qi Zhen took a breath. Now, he does not even have a close person by his side. It is rather lonely and desolate for such a grand prince. Qi Zhen has not yet returned to his mansion. Lin Shoyan received a warning from Ji, "Behave today. The prince is in a bad mood, do not provoke him." Therefore, when Qi Zhen returned, he hid and just glanced from afar. That glance was casual, but it startled him. Wow, he looks as if someone owes him millions. He did not dare to approach him either. When Qi Zhen returned to his chamber, the fool hid far behind the door frame and whispered, "Prince brother, are you looking for something?" Then he saw Qi Zhen take out a small purse from the box. The next second, he suddenly rushed into his arms. "Brother, you smell like blood. It is a bit stinky." The little fool looked up at him. "Brother, take it off." Qi Zhen asked, "Are you scared?" The little fool shook his head. "A little, but more angry." Qi Zhen asked, puzzled, "Angry about what?" The little fool put his hands on his hips. "It is really cold outside now. Yan Yan does not really want to go out and dig a hole." Brother did not even tell Yan Yan in advance. Qi Zhen looked at him gently, "You do not need to this time. I have already taken care of it." Qi Zhen felt warm inside. Over the years, only the little fool had truly cared for him. He took off his blood-stained coat. The little fool took it and threw it aside, then hugged Qi Zhen's waist. "Brother, hug me again." Qi Zhen suddenly embraced him. He felt like it was not him hugging the little fool, but the little fool hugging him. Yan Yan was the warmest light in Qi Zhen's dark life, and the only family and lover he wanted to protect. Continuing from before, Qi Zhen tightly hugged Lin Shoyan. "The fifth prince has passed away. I need to keep vigil for the next few days. I will tell others you are seriously ill. So you do not need to go. Don't run around these days." The little fool looked up at Qi Zhen with clean, clear eyes. "Yan Yan will go too." Qi Zhen said, "You will have to kneel for a long time." He looked at Qi Zhen and said, "Someone will bully brother." Qi Zhen felt warm inside. His arms also tightened slightly. "What help can you offer by going? If someone tries to harm you, what will you do?" Lin Shoyan thought to himself, "What else can I do but submit? This way, I might accidentally complete the mission early and can go home sooner." Lin Shoyan looked up and whispered softly, "Brother, do not worry. Mother said Yan Yan is a little fool, so he can act foolishly." Qi Zhen was speechless. The little fool gestured wildly, suggesting Yan Yan could throw mud at them. He could also lie down and turn them into 88,000. Qi Zhen could not help but burst into laughter, his face full of adoration. The little fool tried his best to play the role of Qi Zhen's loyal sidekick, wanting to turn them into gold. Mother said gold is valuable. Yan Yan will make money for brother to spend. Qi Zhen looked at the little fool, feeling a pang of heartache. He pulled Lin Shoyan into his arms and whispered in his ear, "As the Grand Prince Consort, turning people's money, it is utterly outrageous." The little fool giggled, secretly being outrageous. Qi Zhen felt his chest swell with emotion. How wonderful it would be if such days could continue forever. In the end, Qi Zhen still did not dare let Lin Shoyan go. In the morning hall of the fifth prince's mother, Consort Li, covered her face and wept bitterly. The old emperor stood behind with a gloomy face. As soon as Qi Zhen arrived, Consort Li, with eyes red from crying, threw herself at him. She grabbed his clothes and tore at them, blaming Qi Zhen. "It is all your fault. You killed my son." Fortunately, the people around quickly pulled her away. She only managed to scratch the back of his hand with her nails. Concubine Li's vicious curses were relentless. Qi Zhen, why did not you just die? Your whole family is dead. Why are not you? The palace attendant beside her turned pale, holding onto Concubine Li tightly. Your Majesty, you must not say such things. Qi Zhen wiped the blood off the back of his hand with his fingertip, his voice steady and his face sharp. Cold to the point of being inhuman. Concubine Li has publicly offended the imperial dignity. I wonder how father plans to deal with it. The old emperor looked at Qi Zhen coldly. Demote her and dock her salary for a year. Qi Zhen sneered, so the cost of offending the imperial dignity is so cheap, no wonder even a small duck dares to invade, requiring our dynasty to marry off a princess. The old emperor glared at Qi Zhen. Marrying off princesses for peace has always been a disgrace. Is he saying I am incompetent? He gritted his teeth and asked, what does the crown prince think should be done? Qi Zhen did not respond. Father rules and I dare not speak recklessly. The old emperor was so angry he spat blood. The weight of imperial dignity versus a mere concubine was clear. He gritted his molars painfully. Concubine Li stared in disbelief. She struggled desperately. Your Majesty, are you really going to be so heartless to me? Concubine Li was dragged out by the attendants, still cursing. Qi Zhen, you will die a horrible death. You deserve to go to hell. Qi Zhen remained indifferent, only slightly bowing. Father is wise. Now everyone knows that if they wish to offend the imperial dignity again, they must think twice. The princes nearby looked at Qi Zhen with eyes full of shock, anger, fear, and helplessness. Qi Zhen was not talking about imperial dignity. He was clearly talking about himself. Fifth brother is dead. Who will be next? As soon as Qi Zhen returned to the mansion, Lin Shouyan noticed the injury on his hand. Brother, what happened to your hand? Let me call the imperial doctor for you. Qi Zhen replied calmly, no need, it is already scabbed. Lin Shouyan held his hand. Does it hurt? Did brother cry? Qi Zhen withdrew his hand. It does not hurt, silly. Lin Shouyan did not let go. Instead, he lowered his head and kissed the back of his hand. I hope brother won't get hurt again. Qi Zhen's heart skipped a beat. He took the opportunity to hold his hand, then pulled him closer. In the bright candlelight, he saw that the silly one's eyes were brighter than the flames. He had countless things he wanted to say to him, yet did not know where to start. He embraced the silly one gently but firmly. The fifth prince's family is at the funeral hall, but mine is here. Backquote. The crown prince actually wants to duel with the little fool until dawn. The little fool can't count to 100 without stopping. After the fifth prince's funeral ended, Qi Zhen was confined to the Eastern Palace. However, more and more officials came to visit him. The new year is approaching. Followed by March with spring hunting and martial exams, a lot of things to handle. He has been so busy these days that he has not seen the little fool even once. At this moment, Xu Fuquan approached with a smile. Your Highness, today the crown princess took the guard's iron shield and personally cooked iron plate noodles. They taste excellent. She specially saved a portion for you. Would you like to eat now? Qi Zhen frowned. He went to the kitchen. Did his hair catch fire? Xu Fuquan laughed so hard his teeth were showing. No, the crown princess is fine. The crown princess is perfectly fine, not hurt at all. Xu Fu wholeheartedly thought, now who would dare to harm the crown princess? Everyone is treating her like a child. Pampering her. Qi Zhen imagined the silly boy sneaking into the kitchen, a beautiful curve forming at the corners of his mouth. Xu Fu smiled and said, Haitang came to see the crown princess today. They played for a while in the afternoon. The crown princess was very happy and even painted a picture for Miss Haitang. Upon hearing this, the smile on Qi Zhen's face disappeared without a trace. Seeing this, Xu Fu tactfully said, but the crown princess only saved the iron plate noodles for your highness. Qi Zhen's expression then eased a bit. Let us have a meal first, he said, and then Qi Zhen started slurping the noodles vigorously. After Qi Zhen finished eating and returned to the bedroom, there was only a dimly lit candle in the room. Lin Shouyan was nestled in the blankets, sleeping sweetly. Qi Zhen sat on the bed, looking tenderly at the silly boy. He remembered when he first arrived, still weak from a fever, looking foolish and frail like a delicate white flower. Recently, he has been eating well, wearing warm clothes, his cheeks plump and complexion rosy. Like a charming peach blossom, Qi Zhen raised his hand to gently caress his cheek. More and more people have been mentioning how good-looking the crown princess is. He frowned, thinking if he had not saved him, if he was just an ordinary man, those wanting to marry him would probably line up from the capital to Jiangnan. Qi Zhen pinched his nose. Such a little rascal. At that moment, Lin Shouyan woke up. He opened his bleary eyes and softly called out, Brother. Qi Zhen's heart skipped a beat, feeling his face heat up unexpectedly. The silly boy sat up, rubbed his eyes, and asked, "The iron plate noodles I saved for brother. Did you eat them?" Chi Jen took off his outer coat. "I did." "Were they good?" Chi Jen turned his head to look at him. "You have not learned many characters, but you run to the kitchen fast. Want to wash your hands and make soup for me?" Lin Shoyin shook his head. "I am tired of stewed dishes here every day." Chi Jen asked, "Didn't you eat like this at home before?" He feared the sudden silence. The silly boy was slow to respond for a few seconds. He chuckled and said, Yan, the dishes at home are a bit different." Chi Jen was thinking to himself, "Looks like I will have to find him a Jongnan chef later." Chi Jen looked at him. "I heard your iron plate noodles are made using the guards' shields." Tell them to make you an iron pot. Don't bully the guards." Lin Shoyin laughed. "That would be great. I can try some new dishes." After speaking, Chi Jen stood by the bed, looking at his gentle face under the candlelight, then leaned down and kissed him on the lips. It was not just a simple peck. It was a deep, meaningful kiss full of intent. Lin Shoyin's eyes widened slightly. "Brother, I see you have been working overtime tirelessly. I kindly shared some fried noodles with you to gain favor, and now you are full and coming at me with force, huh?" Chi Jen turned his head and shouted outside, "Shu Fuquan, no visitors tomorrow. Tell those who come that any issues will be dealt with later. Also, prepare more hot water." Lin Shoyin was sweating profusely. "What? Chi Jen is not working tomorrow. Is he planning to battle with me until dawn tonight?" He retreated repeatedly. "Brother, are not you tired?" Chi Jen replied, "I just ate, I am not tired." Lin Shoyin tried to negotiate further. But, before he could finish speaking, his mouth was blocked. After a long time, Chi Jen looked at him and said, "So, you are here to eat Yan." Lin Shoyin closed his eyes. Quietly advocating for his own back, he said, "Brother, take it easy. Yan's back hurts." Chi Jen looked at him with tenderness. Then Yan, call me husband, and count to 100, and I will stop. Lin Shoyin was more than a little shocked. Wow, how much information did Tongzi give Chi Jen? He even knows this kind of play. Lin Shoyin smiled shyly, thinking to himself, "When I can't hold on, I will just count faster." It was only then that he suddenly realized that his brother was Yan, who had just learned to count to 30. Chi Jen chuckled briefly. "Is that so? But the terms have already been set. A promise made is a promise kept." Lin Shoyin went crazy. "Ah, I did not agree, Chi Jen. This jerk definitely knew it." That laugh was proof. "Damn it. This dumb persona will make me unable to count to 100 for the rest of my life." Lin Shoyin felt he had yelled husband over 500 times and dear over 300 times. The little fool got poisoned by pastries and was about to leave the small world. Last time, when Chi Jen carried Lin Shoyin into the bathtub, he did not forget to hoarsely instruct eunuch Shu to change the bedding and give some money to the laundry staff. Lin Shoyin wished he could die on the spot. What is the meaning of giving money? To show sympathy for the hard work of those washing the blankets. Why not sympathize with me, who fainted from shock? The next day at dawn, Lin Shoyin sat up in bed, recalling last night's madness. Lin Shoyin, furious, clenched his fists and greeted Chi Jen with a flurry of punches. "Prince brother Yan, I do not want to be with you anymore." Chi Jen asked why. And Lin Shoyin snorted and pouted, "Just because I do not want to anymore." Chi Jen kissed him on the cheek, wishful thinking. After this incident, Lin Shoyin kept his word and ignored Chi Jen, focusing wholeheartedly on his studies to shed the fool's persona. Shu Fuquan and Ji Mama watched the crown princess striving hard and felt very relieved, exclaiming that the heavens had finally opened their eyes. Only Chi Jen was unhappy because the little fool only had eyes for studying and no room for anything else. In the past, the little fool would greet him as soon as he entered the door. Now, he had to pinch the fool's chin to steal a kiss. The little fool, holding a book, asked him what this character was. Chi Jen missed the little fool more and more, but the little fool no longer thought of him. Thus, Chi Jen, under the pretext of seeing if he had become smarter, invited a doctor to treat him, but the doctor, after many attempts, could not figure out the reason and thus prescribed a body-nourishing remedy. After leaving, the little fool immediately asked his brother, "What did uncle say?" Chi Jen held the prescription and said, "Previously, your body accumulated a lot of turbid disease energy, clouding your mind, which is why you were foolish. Now, perhaps the turbid energy has been expelled from your body, coupled with some recuperation, so you are improving." Lin Shoyin listened in a daze. "How did I expel the turbid energy?" Chi Jen coughed lightly. "Expelling 1 drop of gold is better than expelling 10 drops of blood." Lin Shoyin rolled his eyes, thinking this explanation was not quite right. There was something wrong with it. Lin Shoyin asked, "Then how did I recuperate?" Chi Jen replied, "I fed you." Chi Jen closed his eyes, his ears slowly turning pink. "You have been married into the Eastern Palace for quite some time. And only after returning from Qianshan Temple did your condition gradually improve. Lin Xiaoyan chuckled, keep making it up. If I was not pretending to be foolish, I would have believed his nonsense. Qi Zhen's expression remained calm, as steady as an old dog. Perhaps you do not remember, but when you came out of Qianshan Temple, your complexion was much more turbid than it is now. Lin Xiaoyan was completely dumbfounded. Thinking it was because this body had not experienced anything for a long time. Qi Zhen continued, at that time, you were very foolish. Later, when you wet the bed, the next day you could recognize quite a few words. Perhaps I gave too much that night. Lin Xiaoyan heard this explanation and could not find any loophole to refute it, even thinking it made some sense. Qi Zhen cleared his throat and said, if I am willing, I can continue to help you recuperate. So, do you want to become smarter? Lin Xiaoyan wanted to hit him. Is this why you deceive me? Deceiving a fool like this, does not your conscience hurt? Lin Xiaoyan thought, just a few days ago, I swore I wanted to become smarter, yet now I have shot myself in the foot. Qi Zhen suddenly became serious. Lin Xiaoyan, do not avoid treatment because of fear. Lin Xiaoyan covered his face, which was red to the neck. How long will the treatment take? Qi Zhen touched his thoroughly red face. Treat while watching. Before you are cured, do not go anywhere. That night, Qi Zhen tasted the sweetness of treating the illness, and repeatedly grabbed Lin Xiaoyan to administer medicine. Qi Zhen was incredibly gentle, while Lin Xiaoyan's heart was restless, feeling like a deer was running wild in his chest. The result is indulgence feels good for a moment, but the next day it is the crematorium. Lin Xiaoyan felt that going out was hopeless. Instead, he thought of going back to the study to steal an unimportant document and give it to someone else as evidence of betrayal. After 300 rounds of treatment, Lin Xiaoyan smiled and asked Qi Zhen if he was satisfied just now. Qi Zhen closed his eyes and responded softly with a hum. Lin Xiaoyan asked again if he could enter Qi Zhen's study. Qi Zhen's lips slightly curled up. No wonder he was so enthusiastic earlier, whispering in his ear about finding a pill to have a child. For him, it turns out he had a request. Qi Zhen was in a good mood and said, enter if you want, no one will stop you. The next day, Lin Xiaoyan was led by Xu Fuquan to the library. Xu Fuquan told him the Crown Prince said he could look at anything but could not take anything out. Lin Xiaoyan verbally agreed, but inwardly made a face, thinking, I won't listen. He casually took a few sheets of paper from the bookshelf, which contained information about several court officials. He thought about stealing them. He played around in the study for a while and felt a bit hungry, just as he saw a maid passing by with snacks. He quickly called Xu Fuquan, Xiao Quan. Yan Yan wants to eat pastries. Xu Fuquan hurriedly stopped the maid and asked her to bring the pastries to the Crown Princess. The maid hesitated for a moment, saying the pastries were meant for the front hall for the Crown Prince. Xu Fuquan took the pastries from her hand, saying, His Highness does not like this kind of pastry. Serve the Crown Princess first, then go to the kitchen for something milder. Lin Xiaoyan happily started eating the pastries. Xu Fuquan, full of concern, said, Crown Princess, please do not eat and make a mess everywhere. This is His Highness's study. Lin Xiaoyan nodded. He picked up a pen, preparing to leave a little surprise on Qi Zhen's rice paper. Suddenly, a metallic taste surged up his throat, and he could not suppress it. With a loud cough, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Xu Fuquan screamed in fright beside him. The Crown Princess is poisoned and her life is in danger. Qi Zhen has completely turned dark. Continuing from the last episode, Lin Xiaoyan ate the poisoned pastries and finally fainted completely amidst Xu Fuquan's screams. After an unknown amount of time, the system began to detect the host's vital signs. Protection mode has been activated, pain has been blocked. Lin Xiaoyan asked what happened. The system indicated that he was poisoned. At the same time, it congratulated the host, as the task's target Qi Zhen's darkening value has reached the standard. Your task is completed. Lin Xiaoyan wondered, did the darkening value change because I was poisoned? The system indicated that it should be. Lin Xiaoyan was shocked, never expecting that Qi Zhen, that cold person, would actually darken because he was poisoned. But on second thought, it made sense. He was Qi Zhen's bedmate, and now that the bedmate was poisoned and about to die, who would not be angry? Moreover, if he had not stopped that plate of pastries, the one suffering would definitely be Qi Zhen himself. Lin Xiaoyan wondered what was going on with that plate of pastries. The system indicated that in the original book, after Qi Zhen killed the fifth prince, the emperor held a grudge and secretly poisoned him. However, Qi Zhen is the male lead and has a halo, so he could not die. Originally, a gluttonous official in the main hall died instead. Unexpectedly, Lin Xiaoyan suddenly understood. Got it, blame his gluttony. Lin Xiaoyan asked if he could leave now. The system flipped through the book and said not yet, as he was poisoned with a chronic toxin. In the book, that official lingered for 7 days before dying. If you suddenly die, it would be too suspicious. I will try to compress it for you, so you do not have to endure until next year. Lin Shoyin was speechless for a moment. How come it did not sound like good news? The system patted Lin Shoyin's head. This poison will keep you in a mostly unconscious state. Just think of it as sleeping a bit more. Lin Shoyin said dejectedly, all right. Meanwhile, after Lin Shoyin fainted, Xu Fuquan was scared half to death. With the remaining half of his life, he dragged his slightly bloated body to inform Qi Zhen. Qi Zhen strode quickly towards the study. He was always calm in the face of events, but he lost his composure in this matter. He only remembered to ask Xu Fuquan to call for the imperial physician when he was almost at the study. When Qi Zhen arrived at the study and pushed open the door, he was stunned for a moment. In his sight was bright red blood, shocking to behold. Not far away, his little fool was lying in a pool of blood. Qi Zhen clenched his teeth and trembled as he reached out his hand, finally closing his eyes to steady his mind. He quickly lifted the person horizontally, brought him back to the courtyard, and gently laid the fool on the bed. At this moment, Lin Shoyin continuously vomited blood intermittently. Qi Zhen panicked, raised his hand to cover his bleeding lips, but he could not catch or block it. Blood stained his clothes and the brocade quilt. Qi Zhen, looking at the blood on his hands, had a terrifyingly grim expression. The servants in the room were all stunned. No one expected such a thing to happen. And for a moment, no one dared to speak. Annoyed, Qi Zhen turned and roared, "Where is the imperial physician? Have you fetched him?" Only then did Xu Fuqin push the imperial physician, who stumbled in, breathless, and immediately went to take the pulse for a good while. He used a silver needle to touch the blood Lin Shoyin vomited. The imperial physician knelt down in fright and said, "Your Highness, I cannot determine what poison the crown princess has ingested. I can only prescribe a remedy to preserve her life for now." Upon hearing this, Qi Zhen kicked the imperial physician over, calling him useless. The physician had been in the Eastern Palace for many years and had never seen Qi Zhen so furious. After being kicked aside, he quickly crawled back and said, "Your Highness, if we find the person who poisoned her, we can treat her more effectively." Qi Zhen's face darkened slightly as he glanced sideways. Except for the imperial physician, everyone was ordered to the corner courtyard, the farthest place from Qi Zhen's main courtyard in the Eastern Palace. Meanwhile, the palace maid who had served Lin Shoyin the pastries was stopped before she could commit suicide. Now, with her hands tied, she knelt before Qi Zhen. Qi Zhen sat in the chair, holding a dagger to the palace maid's face, and coldly asked what kind of poison it was. The palace maid was terrified, trembling as she confessed that she was only responsible for delivering it and did not know anything else. Qi Zhen asked about her accomplices. The maid's voice trembled as she said she did not know who they were. The poison was placed in the corner of the firewood room, and she went to retrieve it. Qi Zhen raised his eyes, scanning the dark mass before him, a cold light appearing in his eyes. So it was someone from the Eastern Palace. It could be found out sooner or later in the Eastern Palace, but right now he had no patience. Qi Zhen stepped on the palace maid's body, the dagger cutting into her cheek, blood splattering onto his hand. "If you come out yourself, I will give you a quick death. I will give you a quick death. If not," Qi Zhen said, and then slashed with the dagger. The palace maid screamed in pain. The scream accompanied the sound of flesh being cut open. The palace maid was in so much pain that she almost fainted. Qi Zhen said coldly, "Just like her, living is worse than dying." The dog emperor used the life of the crown princess to force Qi Zhen to give up the position of crown prince. How should the crown prince choose between family revenge, the throne, and his lover? Continuing from last time, the screams in the corner courtyard of the Eastern Palace lasted half the night. The voices of the servants begging for mercy kept coming. "Your Highness, spare us, we really do not know." Xu Fuquan was so scared that he was sweating profusely. He was the one who decided to serve the pastries to the crown princess. He was afraid that this mad prince would punish him as well. Finally, someone could not take it anymore. "Your Highness, it was His Majesty. His Majesty prepared the poison." What kind of poison, the servant does not know. Upon hearing this, Qi Zhen stood up and looked at her coldly. "Burn her." The maid was terrified and kept begging for mercy. Qi Zhen ignored her and dealt with the maid. Qi Zhen hurriedly left with Xu Fuquan. Suddenly, Qi Zhen called out, "Xu Fuquan." Xu Fuquan was so scared that he knelt down with a thud. "Your Highness." Qi Zhen said in a deep voice, "Hot water. I need hot water." Xu Fuquan was scared half to death. So he just wanted hot water. He quickly got up. "The servant will prepare it immediately." Zhou Zudong heard that something had happened in the Eastern Palace and hurried over. He looked at Qi Zhen with a complex expression, taking off the blood-soaked clothes and washing the blood off his body. Only after Qi Zhen finished washing did Zhou Zudong dare to approach, "Your Highness." Qi Zhen asked him, "Do I smell?" Zhou Zudong was shocked and did not know how to describe Qi Zhen's state, only replying, "No, Your Highness's clothes have been scented, they smell faintly pleasant." "That is good." Zhou Zudong followed Qi Zhen into the hall. The hall was brightly lit. Dozens of imperial physicians were studying what kind of poison it was. When Qi Zhen entered, they all knelt down and did not dare to make a sound. Qi Zhen asked if there were any clues. The previous report from the imperial physicians said that the poison had not been identified yet, but it acted slowly and would not be fatal for a while. However, the crown princess would suffer some pain. Zhou Zudong was puzzled. Where did the poison come from? Qi Zhen's eyes were cold. Where else could it come from? It was meant for me, but Mingyu accidentally ingested it. Zhou Zudong was shocked, but his mind worked quickly. If it was from the emperor, then there would be no evidence. How can we get the antidote? Wait, what did you just call him? Is Mingyu Lin Shoyan's courtesy name? He looked at Qi Zhen in surprise, growing more and more shocked. He suddenly remembered seeing servants arranging the carriage a few days ago. He casually asked, "Is this winter particularly cold? Why are there twice as many cushions in the carriage?" At that time, he thought Qi Zhen was very attentive to the crown princess. Qi Zhen said it was not cold, but Yan Yan was a bit delicate. It was a very plain explanation, so plain that Zhou Zudong did not think much of it at the time. Now, thinking back, when had Qi Zhen ever taken extra care of someone just because they were delicate? The more he thought about it, the more scared he became. "Your Highness, you would not be thinking of getting the antidote for Lin Shoyan, would you?" Qi Zhen said nothing. Just quietly looked at Lin Shoyan. Zhou Zudong urgently said, "Regardless of whether it is worth it or not, the emperor has been looking for your weakness for years. If he knows how much you care about Lin Shoyan, he must already know." Qi Zhen sat on the bed, gently holding Lin Shoyan's hand. The moment Mingyu was in trouble, he forgot all about any pretense. Not long after, news came from the palace. The emperor's confidant arrived at the Eastern Palace, smiling as he delivered a message. "Your Highness, the emperor said that the poison won't be fatal. For a while, even for the frail crown princess. The Eastern Palace need not worry about holding a funeral during the new year. But if you want to completely avoid this misfortune, you must agree to the emperor's conditions. Your Highness can still retain the position of crown prince, but the next emperor must be the current emperor's son. And once the next emperor ascends the throne, your Highness must assist him and be loyal to the country." After hearing these conditions, Zhou Zudong angrily smashed the teacup in his hand. "This is disgusting. The emperor wants to strip you of your chance to inherit the throne and make you subordinate to them, assisting in governance while they reap all the benefits. Your Highness, you can't agree to this. Think of all your years of hard work, all the people who have paved the way for you. The late emperor, the late empress, and the grand tutor." Qi Zhen closed his eyes. "I never said I would agree." After Zhou Zudong left, Xu Fuquan told Keijun that an hour ago, the prescription the imperial physicians had been working on was given to the crown princess. She should be waking up soon. When Lin Shoyan opened his eyes, he smiled at Bu Zhen. Keijun looked at him with tender eyes, filled with both worry and joy. Lin Shoyan asked his brother, the crown prince, "Is today New Year's Eve?" Keijun's heart felt like it was being pounded by a heavy fist, almost making it hard for him to breathe. He replied in a deep voice, "Yes." Lin Shoyan then asked, "Have I been asleep for a long time?" Keijun clenched his fists tightly, his nails digging into his palms. "Not very long." Lin Shoyan smiled slightly, his tone light. "You smell nice." Keijun said softly, "It seems to be the new incense. If you like it, I will have them burn it here from now on." Keijun helped him sit up, leaning against his chest. Lin Shoyan weakly said, "I want to go out for a walk. Lying down is a bit tiring." Keelong comforted him, "Just sit." Suddenly, Lin Shoyan reached out and touched Keijun here and there. Keijun was taken aback. "What are you doing?" Lin Shoyan looked up with innocent eyes. "I am just touching, nothing else." Thinking to himself, "Such a good opportunity. I won't be able to touch him after I go back, better take advantage now." His hand continued to wander over Bu Long's body. "You have to bear with it, I am a patient now." Keijun looked down at him. "Am I really that ravenous?" Lin Shoyan smiled with curved eyes, thinking, "Don't you know yourself?" Keijun frowned and held him tighter. Although the poison was chronic, it was too aggressive. The person he had been feeding for so many days was now worse off than when he first came to the Eastern Palace. Keijun kissed him on the lips with heartache. Lin Shoyan smiled and asked, "Why did you kiss me?" Keijun said, "You are noisy." "Do you find me noisy or do you mind me saying you are ravenous?" "Both." The crown prince finally realized he was deeply in love with the little fool, willing to give up the throne he had long planned for, just because he did not want his only love to die. Continuing from last time, Qi Zhen looked at Lin Xiaoyan in his arms, his brows furrowed. He had fed him many people, yet overnight he was worse than when he first came to the Eastern Palace. He tenderly kissed him. Lin Xiaoyan looked up and smiled at him. "Why are you kissing me?" Qi Zhen pretended to be impatient. "You are noisy." Lin Xiaoyan asked again, "Do you find me noisy? Or do you dislike me saying you are like a wolf?" Qi Zhen replied, "Both." Lin Xiaoyan withdrew his hand, looking at him with a face full of grievance. "If we can't go on, we should just be brothers." "What kind of juicer?" Qi Zhen was taken aback. "What chicken?" Lin Xiaoyan laughed. "Nothing, I still want to go out for a walk." Upon hearing this, Qi Zhen's brows furrowed slightly. Lin Xiaoyan quickly added, "Just at the door, it is too stuffy inside." In the end, Qi Zhen agreed, wrapping Lin Xiaoyan tightly and calling someone to move a chair to the corridor. He did not let Lin Xiaoyan walk out by himself. He carried him out horizontally. Placing him on the chair in the corridor, he did not forget to remind him, "Don't sit too long." Lin Xiaoyan responded gloomily, "Got it." It was snowing outside, and he reached out to catch the snow, but he could not reach it, so he shakily stood up. Seeing this, Qi Zhen followed him down the steps, about to say not to go further when Lin Xiaoyan stopped. He caught a snowflake and watched it slowly melt in his palm. At this moment, Lin Xiaoyan was overwhelmed with emotion, finally about to say goodbye to this world. Finally going home. If he did not have to maintain his persona, he would definitely sing good days for all his buddies. Qi Zhen looked at him with worry all over his face. The little fool was so frail, as if he might vanish into the wind and snow at any moment. Just then, a servant brought an umbrella. And Qi Zhen took it, holding it over both of their heads. Lin Xiaoyan, who insisted on acting till the end, turned back and weakly said, "Today is New Year's Eve, there is a banquet at the palace tonight. I can't accompany you." Qi Zhen almost could not breathe. "Then I won't go either." Lin Xiaoyan said, "Go ahead. I have not tasted the palace's pastries yet. Brother Zg, can you bring me 2 pieces? Qi Zhen's throat was dry and tight. "Just pastries." Lin Xiaoyan forced a smile. "Brother looks very sad. I wish brother would not be so sad." Qi Zhen's heart ached suddenly. Lin Xiaoyan knew he was going to die. He knew he was such a delicate person, yet he did not let me save him. Qi Zhen gritted his teeth, enduring the pain in his heart. The turbulent life, the court full of crises, forced him to learn maturity and restraint, to plan every step. To be cold-hearted and emotionless, to abandon feelings. He was born with a mission, to become emperor and reclaim the kingdom. It was not the first time he lost someone important to him. In the past and now, like-minded friends, loyal subordinates, followers who looked up to him, they came and went. People are supposed to be like this. There is no gathering that does not end. Lin Xiaoyan should be the same. Now he is leaving, and it seems more painful than all those people combined. He does not want him to leave. If the poisoning incident revealed his weakness to the emperor, it also made him realize he already deeply loved Lin Xiaoyan. He is not a weakness. He is an untouchable reverse scale. Qi Zhen made up his mind in his heart. He must save Lin Xiaoyan. He could not wait a moment longer, did not want to take any risk. Qi Zhen held the umbrella over Lin Xiaoyan's head, his gaze so gentle it could drown someone. "Princess. You are getting wet, you should go back." Lin Xiaoyan turned slightly, feeling a flutter in his chest and his heart racing. Suddenly being called the crown princess felt a bit ambiguous. He obediently responded, taking Qi Zhen's offered hand. Qi Zhen placed him back on the bed and pulled the blanket over him. Qi Zhen turned around, "I will go now." Lin Xiaoyan looked reluctant. "Where? The night banquet. It is still early for the New Year's Eve banquet, is not it?" Qi Zhen reached out and ruffled his hair. "It is indeed early, but according to protocol, the dishes for the banquet must start being prepared the day before. They should be ready now, so I will go to the imperial kitchen to get them." Lin Xiaoyan was shocked. "Isn't that against the rules?" Qi Zhen donned his cloak and reminded him, "I will ride a horse, do not sleep, wait for me to return." Lin Xiaoyan's eyes widened. Wait, you can't ride a horse on the long street. You taught me that, have you forgotten?" Qi Zhen paused slightly. "Who cares about the long street rule? Who cares about the years of painstaking planning for the chess game? If it collapses, we can start over. I just want Lin Xiaoyan to live." Qi Zhen turned and took his hand. "I have not forgotten. I am breaking the rules for you. You should think about how to repay me. If you can't think of anything, it is fine. I will tell you when I return." He wants him to be his crown princess, then the empress, to always stay by his side. Thinking of this, Qi Zhen lowered his head and gently kissed his forehead, then looked at Lin Xiaoyan. Motionlessly, his gaze extremely tender. Lin Shoyin, you are done for. You have made me like you so much. You are done for, and so am I. Lin Shoyin was stunned by what he heard. What does he mean by this? The crown princess of the Eastern Palace perished on a snowy New Year's Eve. Half of Crown Prince Qi Zhen's life was buried on that day too, leaving the other half like a walking corpse, lifeless. After Qi Zhen left, Lin Shoyin lay on the bed, breathing heavily. The system asked, "Are you sad, guilty, heartbroken?" Lin Shoyin took a deep breath. "I think I could win an Oscar if I go back. Look, Qi Zhen is almost fooled by me." He seemed to remember something and suddenly asked, "What is Qi Zhen's darkening value?" The system replied, "The host is only responsible for the first stage of the darkening task, so you do not have access to view it. You can see the specific value in the task settlement report after the host detaches." The system then asked, "Would the host like to detach now?" Later, Lin Shoyin took out the jade pendant that Qi Zhen had given him and placed it in the most conspicuous spot on the bedside. He felt the mission was over. This was something Qi Zhen entrusted him to keep, and it should be returned to him. Then he lay down and closed his eyes. It is time to detach. Detaching. After the snow, the long street and official road were clear. Qi Zhen rode his horse through the snow, the cold wind cutting his face like a knife. His grip on the food box tightened. His hands and face were flushed red from the wind. He was rushing to the crown prince's residence. "Lin Shoyin, wait for me." The steed galloped to the eastern palace gate. Qi Zhen squeezed the horse's belly and leapt off. In the cold wind, there was a faint sound of crying. Qi Zhen carried the food box and ran towards the courtyard. The closer he got, the clearer the sound became. His heart sank sharply, and his steps froze. Why are they crying? Wasn't it said there was no immediate danger to life, and he had already brought back the antidote? Xu Fuquan also had red eyes and tears. Seeing him return, he stepped forward and said tremblingly, "Your Highness, the crown princess has already." Qi Zhen, called by him, finally reacted. He walked closer with difficulty, each step feeling like stepping on the tip of a knife, until he saw Lin Shoyin on the bed, with long eyelashes hanging down, looking serene as if asleep. His heart fell onto the blade with a thud, piercing through. He trembled as he said, "Mingyu, the pastries are back." No one responded to him. He put down the pastries and sat on the edge of the bed. His eyes felt hot, as if something was stuck in his throat. Mingyu still did not respond. He picked up the frozen hand and held his cheeks, the coldness of his face causing heartache and a chilling stiffness deep in his bones. The fog before his eyes blurred his vision. He swallowed hard. He has come back. Get up. Inside the house, the sound of hard swallowing continued. The world of Qi Zhen was silent. No one answered. A tear slid down Qi Zhen's cheek, falling onto his brocade robe, spreading a small mark. His voice was hoarse, almost as if his vocal cords were being torn apart to make the sound. After a long time, the swindler, Qi Zhen, raised his hand to wipe the tears from his face and said hoarsely, "Xu Fuquan, announce the death." Xu Fuquan accepted the order and quickly announced the death. Although Lin Shoyin's death was sudden, the funeral was conducted in an orderly manner. Madame Lin fainted several times at the mourning hall. Qi Zhen had her carried to the backyard and presided over the entire funeral with an indifferent expression. Even when the prince came to challenge him, Qi Zhen did not show any emotion from beginning to end. However, the more Qi Zhen was like this. However, the calmer Qi Zhen appeared, the more worried Xu Fuquan became. Is the crown prince really okay? He seemed too calm, like the sea before a storm. After the funeral, Qi Zhen privately handed Lin Shoyin's body to Madame Lin to take back to the peaceful and untroubled Zhongnan. Since then, Lin Shoyin seemed to have completely withdrawn from Qi Zhen's life. On the second day of the second lunar month, the emperor went to Qianshan Temple to pray for blessings, accompanied by the crown prince and other princes. After the heavy blessing ceremony ended, Qi Zhen walked to the meditation room where he and Lin Shoyin once stayed, pausing slightly and standing there for a long time. Xu Fuquan followed Qi Zhen's gaze and said with a smile, "Now everything is reviving, and the trees are budding. It is not as bleak as it was in winter. Your Highness, spring is coming." Qi Zhen withdrew his gaze indifferently, recalling Lin Shoyin's every smile and frown. "My spring has already come, but it froze on New Year's Eve. That day was so cold it felt like the whole world was frozen, and it remains so to this day." Suddenly, a voice interrupted, "Oh, is not this the crown prince?" The third prince, with a weasel-like face, grinned smugly. 2 months ago, the crown prince promised father that he would not ascend the throne, that he would serve and contribute to the court forever. Now it seems you are really not busy, having time to enjoy the scenery. Qi Zhen turned back with a calm expression. "What do you want to say?" The third prince sneered. "Now that you have no hope of ascending the throne, why not cooperate with me? When I ascend the throne in the future, I will certainly not treat you unfairly. Qi Zhen's gaze swept over him. Do you think you are worthy of my loyalty? The third prince flew into a rage. Qi Zhen, how dare you disrespect me? Do you think you are still the crown prince of the past? Don't forget, when you were young, we almost drowned you in that water tank. You were just a stray dog without a father, mother, or relatives. Your mother died at our hands. Everyone knows you willingly gave up the throne for a fool. Qi Zhen, I can't believe you fell in love with a man. Did that fool make you feel good? What a pity. The third prince lamented sarcastically. Last winter, I even sent people to capture him to have a taste, but unfortunately. Before he could finish, Qi Zhen suddenly grabbed his throat, his voice cold. Last winter, what did you want to do? Say it again. The third prince could not believe Qi Zhen dared to lay hands on him. His eyes widened in disbelief. He wanted to call for help and struggle, but the hand on his throat was like steel, unmovable and inescapable. His face gradually turned blue and purple. Xu Fuquan was scared out of his wits, desperately looking around to see if anyone was nearby. He was truly afraid the crown prince might strangle the third prince to death. Qi Zhen dragged the third prince by the throat to the water tank. I remember everything you just said. He immediately pushed the person inside. Qi Zhen's face showed no expression, his strength was fierce and heavy. Isn't it just this water tank? Why do not you try it yourself? This water is as cold as it was that year. The third prince's head was pressed into the water, his limbs flailing wildly, but Qi Long remained unmoved, listening to his whimpers and the splashes caused by his struggles, never letting go, until the force beneath his hand weakened and the struggles gradually ceased. Qi Zhen released his grip, and the third prince fell to the ground with a thud. Xu Fuquan was so frightened that he collapsed to the ground. Qi Zhen looked at his wet hand. It should have been done long ago. Talking about public power and strategy, what legitimacy? None of it is as straightforward and efficient as a swift action. As long as the people he despises are dealt with quickly, there will be no problems. At this moment, a chirping sound came from the mountains. Qi Zhen turned to Xu Fuquan. What is that sound? Xu Fuquan hurriedly replied, Your Highness, it is the place where the crown princess used to hang her wish plaques on the back mountain. Qi Zhen looked towards the source of the sound. Why did not he go with her to hang them that winter? I could not teach him to read at that time, and I do not know what he drew on the wish plaques. Qi Zhen paused and ordered, Go, see if you can find them. Xu Fuquan was alarmed. There are thousands of wish plaques, it might take days to find them, but who could persuade His Highness otherwise? Crown Prince Qi Zhen completely turned dark, killing 8 of the emperor's sons in 9 months, becoming the regent with power over the court in no time. After Lin Yan left the world of the book, he arrived at the central control system of the transmigration world. Congratulations to host Lin Yan for successfully completing the task. Please proceed to the settlement center to print and submit the task documents. The review time is estimated to be 30 minutes. The system excitedly said, 30 minutes, such a long review time indicates the host has exceeded the task requirements. The control center might reward you, host. You can start thinking about what you want. Lin Yan was delighted, wanting a perpetual motion machine boyfriend of Qi Zhen's size and specifications. The small system was embarrassed, but said, it is possible. We can afford it. Lin Yan was overjoyed. If they can provide that, he is even more excited now. 30 minutes later, the superior of the small system called Lin Yan into the office. Hello, Mr. Lin. First of all, congratulations on leaving the mission world and coming to the main control center. According to system detection, your mission target's corruption value is extremely high. Lin Yan was overjoyed inside, thinking that the rewards for this mission would surely be abundant. However, the next second, the staff continued, this has led to a risk of the mission world collapsing. Lin Yan's face instantly fell. What, the staff said, given this unexpected situation, you also bear some responsibility. Therefore, we hope you can re-enter the book world and expedite the appearance of the male lead, which is Qi Zhen's official CP. Of course, we will provide Mr. Lin with appropriate compensation. Lin Yan stood up abruptly, I had to go back. The staff smiled. Currently, the mission system confirms you are the best candidate. Lin Yan was displeased. How am I the best candidate? I am not the protagonist of the book. I can't save him. He thought Qi Zhen probably would not want to see him again. The staff stated that if he was unwilling to go, they could not send him back because his mission was not approved as completed. After speaking, they pushed the file report back, stamped with a bright red seal marked, unqualified. Lin Yan was furious, pointing at the staff, are you kidding me? You did not mention before that a high corruption value would not work. The staff smiled, within a certain controllable range, it is indeed possible. But our system has never encountered such a high value. Calculating by the time units in the book world, until now, only 9 months have passed since you left the book world, and Qi Zhen has killed all but one of the emperor's children. Lin Yan was embarrassed, only one left. The dog emperor had 8 sons and 3 daughters, and only one is left, killed them all in 9 months. There is not even time to hold funerals. The staff remarked, the funeral supply businesses in the capital have all gotten rich. He smiled, Mr. Lin, you are very capable. We believe you can handle this mission. Lin Yan refused, no way. He has gone crazy like this, I can't go and get caught up in it. Please rest assured, Mr. Lin. Although we cannot directly intervene in the Book World mission, we will diligently protect every host. We will provide a protection mechanism worth 90 million to escort your subsequent missions. Meanwhile, we will also select a new best host for you. Please try to avoid contact with Qi Zhen and find Qi Zhen's destined partner to stabilize this small world. Lin Yan was stunned. So his mission this time was to be a matchmaker. Can he say no? The bright red, unqualified words were right in front of him. Damn it! Lin Yan swore and accepted the new mission. The other party still maintained a smile. Mr. Lin, please be civilized. Lin Yan angrily retorted, civilized, only by swearing can my mouth be clean. If I swallow the words, my heart will be dirty. He glanced at the person opposite. People who do not swear might have dirty hearts. The staff's face turned black, feeling somewhat insulted. The system took Lin Yan to the transfer room. I have other work, so I can't accompany you. I will directly transmit the necessary information to your brain. After Qi Zhen's values became abnormal, many things could not be monitored by the system, so be careful when you go back and try to avoid contact with Qi Zhen. He has really gone crazy now. Lin Yan's steps slightly paused. Is there no reason found? The system replied. The small world is about to collapse, there is no time. Lin Yan pondered for a moment. Probably those idiots brought it upon themselves. The idiot prince and the idiot emperor. He stepped into the teleportation room, closed his eyes, and when he opened them, there was chaos all around. The emperor has passed away. The emperor. Immediately, the relevant information quickly surfaced in his mind. The original host was a child from a collateral branch of the royal family, originally named Wei Sheng. He had been weak since childhood and had a persistent high fever 3 years ago, which turned him into an idiot. Qi Zhen killed all the emperor's sons and then forced the emperor to recognize this idiot as his son, renamed him Qi Yan, and supported him to ascend the throne. He became a puppet emperor. Lin Yan was embarrassed. Damn, he transmigrated into an idiot again, and this time an idiot emperor. Is this what your system calls an upgrade? But Qi Zhen killed all the emperor's sons, so why did not he become emperor himself and instead supported an idiot as a puppet? He was deep in thought and did not notice someone approaching. When he realized it, he tilted his head and met the person's gaze. Ah! Lin Yan was startled, screamed, and jumped up. What is your name? Everyone in the palace was scared silly and forgot to cry. After a moment, a quick-witted young eunuch immediately reacted, knelt down, and made a big bow. The other ministers quickly knelt down to pay their respects. Heaven has eyes, His Majesty is alive again. His Majesty is the true Dragon Emperor, His Majesty's reign will last forever. Lin Yan was speechless for a while. From the time he left until now, more than 2 years had passed here, and he had only read a 9-month summary. He looked around, and a handsome eunuch stepped forward. Does your Majesty want some candy? Lin Yan thought for a moment, adhering to the character setting, nodded. An idiot is fine, an idiot is good. He ate while thinking. Rather than spending time figuring out the current situation, it is better to take the initiative. He beckoned to the eunuch, who leaned forward to listen. What are your Majesty's orders? Lin Yan said he dreamed of an immortal. The eunuch corrected him, Your Majesty, you should refer to yourself as Zhen. Lin Yan nodded thoughtfully. I dreamed of an emperor. The eunuch sighed helplessly. Your Majesty, were you brought back by an immortal? Lin Yan nodded again. That immortal was incredibly good looking. His name is Song Ming, and he lives by the Chentong River. He just lost his mother and is all alone. Can you help me find him? The eunuch gave him a peculiar look but smiled and agreed. Lin Yan was overjoyed. Qi Zhen, I have found your true soulmate for you. In the end, Lin Yan still felt uneasy and repeated several times, you must find the immortal for me. Each time he said it, the little eunuch patiently responded, showing a loyal and devoted demeanor. So when Lin Yan pulled up the covers to prepare for sleep, he smiled at the little eunuch. You are so kind. I really like you. The little eunuch lowered the bed curtains and replied, Thank you for your favor, Your Majesty. Please rest. Under the effects of the medicine, Lin Yan quickly fell asleep. The little eunuch left the palace and met another eunuch in the night. They exchanged a few whispered words. In less than the time it takes to drink a cup of tea, the news reached the regent's residence and Qi Zhen's ears. He scowled, Are you saying Qi Yan did not die? They met. Qi Zhen finally reunited with the little fool he had been longing for. Recalling the words of the Dog Emperor, Qi Zhen sneered, "If you want the antidote, then swear never to reclaim the throne for the rest of your life." Back then, to strike a deal with the Dog Emperor, he had no choice but to bring out a sickly puppet as a temporary measure. Unexpectedly, the puppet bore some resemblance to Lin Shoyan, so he tolerated him for the time being. Qi Zhen lamented, "What bad luck. If he had just died, there would have been less trouble." A guard knelt before the desk. The imperial physician confirmed that he did stop breathing today, but after just a few moments, His Majesty opened his eyes again. Could it be, as His Majesty claimed, that he met an immortal in his dream? Should we go find this immortal? Qi Zhen's face was adorned with a gentle smile, though the smile did not reach his eyes. An immortal, a mere puppet, has divine protection, Qi Zhen scoffed. If he wants it, let him have it. I am curious myself about what this immortal looks like and what use he might have. He would better be real. Otherwise, His Majesty might end up causing someone's death. 2 days later, Song Ming never expected that one day the county magistrate would personally visit his home and invite him to go to the capital with the people from the city. He had heard a bit about the affairs in the capital, but why would the foolish emperor want to see him? Song Ming thought uneasily, but on the bright side, this would give him a chance to interact with high-ranking officials and nobility. Before long, a large carriage approached from not far away and stopped beside him. The curtain at the front was lifted, and Song Ming saw the person inside. Although he did not know who it was, the aura around them was overwhelmingly oppressive and sharp. Song Ming glanced briefly and was automatically forced to kneel. Qi Zhen's voice was cold and unwavering as he said, "The person His Majesty is looking for is you." Song Ming lowered his head further, his gaze fixed on the bricks on the ground. "To the Lord, I am Song Ming, a commoner," he replied. Qi Zhen asked with interest, "An immortal, do you know any immortal arts?" Song Ming, unsure of what he meant, quickly responded, "I do not." Qi Zhen turned away and let down the curtain, saying lightly, "Wash him and send him to the palace, make him a concubine." With a gentle flick of the whip, the coachman drove the carriage away. Song Ming waited until he could no longer hear the sound of the carriage before thinking to himself, "Are all high officials in the capital this imposing, and making someone a concubine? Is that something he can do?" At this moment, someone approached him with some clothes. "Young master, take these and come with me to clean yourself up. We will enter the palace immediately." Song Ming curiously lifted a corner, wondering what these things were. "Wait, what is this tube used for? What is this ointment for, and this jade object?" Song Ming was dumbfounded, and after a while, he realized that the foolish emperor was coveting his beauty. Did he know he was being summoned to serve in the palace? When Lin Yan saw Song Ming, he was completely stunned. But he had to admit, Song Ming's appearance was indeed delicate and beautiful, worthy of being Qi Zhen's spouse. At this moment, the eunuch Xiao Jinzi leaned over and whispered in his ear, "The regent is considerate of him, specially making this immortal his concubine." Lin Yan was furious, thinking, "Is Qi Zhen insane? Why is he sending his own spouse to me?" He was livid, but he had to adhere to his character, so he ran to Song Ming, lay on the ground, and stretched to look at his face. Immortal Song Ming was embarrassed, thinking, "As an emperor, he actually lies on the ground to look at me. This emperor is truly peculiar." Lin Yan grasped Song Ming's hand firmly. "Kaixin Dao really is an immortal. Are you cold on your journey, hungry? Do you want some food? Someone, bring the dishes," the attendant responded and left. Soon, the table was filled with dishes. Song Ming was a bit dazed. So much food, such a luxurious room, such an abundant life. Then he looked at the emperor across from him, so silly, so easy to handle. Was his happy life about to begin? He glanced at the silly emperor and thought, after the meal, will he ask me to serve him in bed? Would this fool even know how? Lin Yan just held his face, smiling as he looked at him. After the meal, he grabbed Song Ming's hand and said, "The flowers in the greenhouse are blooming beautifully. Take them to the regent for me. Go find your future husband, move him, save him. The fate of this world depends on you." Both the attendant and Song Ming were dumbfounded. He had already prepared himself to serve the emperor in bed, but instead, the young emperor asked him to deliver flowers. Unexpectedly, on his very first day, Song Ming found himself dazed, carrying a large bouquet of flowers arranged by the young emperor to the regent's residence. He handed the flowers to the regent's butler. On the second day, the young emperor still asked him to deliver flowers. For 3 consecutive days, he delivered flowers and faced rejection at the door each time. Finally, today, he managed to meet the regent. But to his surprise, the regent turned out to be the high-ranking official he had seen in the carriage. Terrified, he knelt down. The regent, seated above, said coolly, "The flowers you sent earlier have not even wilted yet." Song Ming was speechless. When he returned to the palace, he relayed the regent's exact words to the young emperor. The young emperor held his face with a troubled expression and said after a while, "It seems he does not like flowers. Then tomorrow, send him food instead." Song Ming was dumbfounded. What exactly was he here for? Lin Yan was puzzled. In the past, Qi Zhen had often accompanied him to admire flowers in the back garden. Why did he suddenly dislike them? Oh well, to win over a man, you must first win over his stomach. He specifically instructed the imperial kitchen to prepare dishes that Qi Zhen liked. Tomorrow, Song Ming would deliver them to continue making an impression. Unexpectedly, the next morning, he still had not woken up. He was pulled out of bed by Xiao Jinzi, still half asleep, and dressed in layer upon layer of clothing, with a crown placed on his head. Then he was dragged along in a mad dash to the Zichen Hall. Before he could catch his breath, Xiao Jinzi urged him to quickly sit on the dragon throne. Lin Yan peeked through the screen and saw quite a few officials outside. Qi Zhen stood on the steps with a somewhat lazy posture, yet his presence was imposing. He did not sit on the dragon throne. Someone below accused him, saying, "The emperor has not appeared for many days. You must have done something. Recently, there were rumors that the emperor has already passed away, and you concealed it. What are your intentions?" Lin Yan adjusted his court attire and tiptoed forward. The closer he got, the clearer Qi Zhen's figure became. He felt inexplicably guilty. After all, he was the one who triggered Qi Zhen's dark side. His legs felt weak, and he wanted to run. Just then, an official spotted him and immediately shouted, "Long live the emperor." Hearing this, Qi Zhen turned his head and met his gaze. At that moment, Lin Yan clearly saw Qi Zhen frown. He did not dare to sit on the dragon throne. Because it belonged to Qi Zhen, he feared Qi Zhen would kill him if he sat there. The little emperor's true identity was finally about to be revealed. Previously, it was mentioned that officials in the hall accused Qi Zhen of concealing the emperor's death with ill intentions. When Lin Yan saw Qi Zhen, his legs felt weak, and he wanted to run, but a sharp-eyed courtier spotted him, and shouted, "Long live the emperor." Hearing this, Qi Zhen turned around and met his gaze. At that moment, Lin Yan saw Qi Zhen frown. Qi Zhen's cold voice rang out, "Has His Majesty heard? Some people think I intend to harm the emperor." Lin Yan waved his hand, grinning as he dodged to the side of the dragon throne. No, not at all. He did not dare sit on the dragon throne. That seat belonged to Qi Zhen. He was truly afraid that if he sat on it, Qi Zhen might even turn on him. Suddenly, someone in the hall raised their voice. "Since winter began, His Majesty's health has been poor. Now that His Majesty is well, it would be better to attend court early. Otherwise, this hall will become the regent's one-man show." As soon as these words were spoken, others immediately echoed the sentiment. Lin Yan understood. Qi Zhen's position as regent was not yet secure. There were dissenters below. After all, with such a foolish emperor, there would certainly be more than just Qi Zhen trying to use him as a pawn. Qi Yan shook his head, the jewels on his crown almost hitting his face. "I want to sleep. I do not want to attend court." The officials were mortified upon hearing this. Qi Zhen frowned deeply, turning to look at him. Somehow, his words reminded Qi Zhen of Lin Shoyan. Lin Yan's heart skipped a beat. Did Qi Zhen disapprove of what he said? Could it be that he wanted him to attend court? Lin Yan sat on the dragon throne and sought Qi Zhen's opinion. Then, should I do it? Qi Zhen suddenly smiled. A smile that sent chills down one's spine. Whatever pleases His Majesty. The officials were left speechless. Lin Yan was exasperated. Even this does not please him. What does he want from me? Forget it, whatever. He decided to give up entirely. If you want me to be happy, I still think lying in bed and sleeping is better. So, I won't come here anymore. The officials below were alarmed, each speaking up in turn. Your Majesty, absolutely not. If you are being threatened, just blink. Lin Yan's eyes widened instantly upon hearing this. He immediately turned to Qi Zhen, pointing at himself. Can I leave now? Qi Zhen looked at the young emperor, whose eyes were as wide as copper bells, and chuckled. As His Majesty wishes. Then, he withdrew his gaze and said, since His Majesty is unwilling to attend court, it falls to us ministers to share His Majesty's burdens. At this moment, an official stepped forward and pointed at Qi Zhen. Don't go too far. Officials supporting Qi Zhen have spoken again. Your Majesty has already declared his will. Why do you keep obstructing? What is your motive? Are you trying to seize power and usurp the throne? Qi Zhen sneered. Since everyone knows the truth, why bother saying it out loud? The hall suddenly fell into silence. The officials glanced at each other, then immediately broke into an argument. Lin Yan gestured a 6 and remarked, as expected of you, Qi Zhen, 666. He could not believe Qi Zhen admitted such treasonous words on the spot. Lin Yan wanted to shout for them to stop arguing, but Qi Zhen waved his hand dismissively and said, if you want to argue, do it at home. Court dismissed. Lin Yan was stunned. He wanted to exclaim, "Impressive. The emperor is here, and he dares to dismiss court." Zhou Zudong stood outside the hall, waiting to leave the palace with Qi Zhen. He noticed Qi Zhen was gracefully conversing with the young emperor. Qi Zhen smiled and said, "Your Majesty, please return to your chambers." As Qi Zhen watched the young emperor walk away, his gaze remained fixed on him, as if lost in thought. Zhou Zudong leaned closer and asked, "What are you looking at?" Qi Zhen replied, "He has a problem." Zhou Zudong was puzzled. What problem does the young emperor have? Qi Zhen said firmly, "He is imitating Mingyu. Although his appearance, voice, and tone are different, standing there, he inexplicably reminds me of Mingyu as if he is him." Zhou Zudong was shocked. "How did I not notice? If the young emperor dares to do this, he is doomed." Zhou Zudong quickly advised, "Don't act impulsively. The emperor is just a fool being manipulated by others." He knew that for the past 2 years, the name Lin Shuyan had been Qi Zhen's untouchable sore spot. Even Xu Fuquan did not dare mention it lightly. Previously, someone tried to curry favor with Qi Zhen by finding a man resembling Lin Shuyan and presenting him to Qi Zhen, only to be killed by Qi Zhen. The person trying to curry favor also met a tragic end. No one can replace or imitate Lin Shuyan. To Qi Zhen, anyone attempting such a thing deserves death. Zhou Zudong feared Qi Zhen might lose his temper and rush over to decapitate the young emperor. While Zhou Zudong was panicking, Qi Zhen laughed. Whoever went to such lengths did a decent job of imitating. But why make the emperor imitate Mingyu? Do they think I would not dare commit regicide, or are they trying to show off that they understand Mingyu better than I do? Zhou Zudong was speechless. He thought the latter part definitely was not true. Nearing noon, Xu Fuquan informed Qi Zhen that Song Ming had come again. This time, he did not bring flowers but brought dishes from the palace. Qi Zhen glanced at the plate of food and said coldly, "Take it away. Don't bother with him in the future." Xu Fuquan's face was full of worry. "Your Highness, you have not eaten anything today. You must eat something to take care of your health." Qi Zhen did not move, his mind filled with thoughts of Lin Mingyu. Why could not he forget him, even for a single day? Why did everything he saw or did remind him of Lin Mingyu, last February? Qi Zhen had carried a lantern and found the wish plaque Lin Shuyan had hung among hundreds of others. Only then did he realize that his Lin Mingyu was not some little fool, he was a big liar. He stared at the wish plaque, which read, "Lin Mingyu wishes for Qi Ziji's health and well-being, for his wishes to come true, for peace and prosperity, and for an enduring golden age." These were not words a little fool could write, nor was the handwriting like the chicken scratch of a simpleton. Qi Zhen had specifically ordered someone to retrieve letters Lin Mingyu had written, before his supposed foolishness to compare the handwriting. The writing did not match, but the wish plaque undeniably belonged to Lin Mingyu. The moment Qi Zhen saw the wish plaque, he wanted to dig up Lin Mingyu's grave, pull him out of the coffin, and demand answers. But that was just a thought after all. The dead can't answer questions. Qi Zhen clutched the wish plaque, which he had found with such difficulty, and laughed angrily. He was so furious that he wanted to travel through time, make Lin Mingyu cry his heart out, and refused to let him go until he confessed everything. After the brief anger came an overwhelming wave of longing. No matter who Lin Mingyu was, his affection and companionship had been real. Qi Zhen was determined to uncover the truth. Here he came again. Qi Zhen believed the young emperor was being manipulated, imitating his crown princess. So, he gave him a good scare. Previously, it was mentioned that Qi Zhen had carried a lantern, and found the wish plaque Lin Shuyan had hung among hundreds of others. Only then did he realize that his Lin Mingyu was not some little fool, he was a big liar, a liar who deceived hearts. Qi Zhen clutched the wish plaque, which he had found with such difficulty, and laughed angrily. He was so furious that he wanted to travel through time, make Lin Mingyu cry his heart out, and refused to let him go until he confessed everything. But after the brief anger came an overwhelming wave of longing. No matter who Lin Mingyu was, his affection and companionship had been real. Qi Zhen was determined to uncover the truth. During the days after Lin Shuyan's departure, Qi Zhen's investigation continued. He pondered deeply, who was Lin Mingyu? Could he truly be a visitor from another world, borrowing a body to return to life? What was his name? Where did he come from? Why did he come to Qi Zhen's side? What was his purpose? This possibility seemed to make the most sense. Will he come back one day, for the one he loves? Qi Zhen conducted the boldest experiment. For this, he sought out countless so-called mystics and sorcerers, even falling victim to the scheming emperor, who used this as an excuse to take his life. These so-called mystics and sorcerers were nothing but frauds, all of them charlatans. Qi Zhen could not let go, so he could only wander through his dreams night after night, gradually descending into madness. He thought, if Lin Mingyu ever returned one day, he would grab him and not let him escape. He would lock him in a room. He would grip his neck, pin him to the table, so he could not even think about running. He would have no choice but to obediently accept punishment. Qi Zhen would force him to reveal his real name, and where he lived. He would hold his hand, just like when he taught him how to write, and make him write a promise, to never leave again, to love him forever. He would make him sign it with Qingqing, a term of endearment, sealing their bond. Qingqing, my dearest Qingqing. You are my Qingqing, and only mine. Before knowing his real name, he would simply call him Qingqing. No matter what his name was, he would always be Qi Zhen's Qingqing. Just then, the sound of footsteps broke his thoughts. Qi Zhen snapped back to reality and looked at Cao Zhang below. My lord, we found nothing unusual. Everything around His Majesty is as it always is. Qi Zhen glanced at the dishes on the table and asked, what about Song Ming? Cao Zhang respectfully replied, we investigated, and there was nothing unusual. Qi Zhen's expression turned icy. The safest course of action, as always, would be to eliminate the young emperor as a warning to others. Let them see what happens if they dare to use Mingyu against him. But Qi Zhen hesitated because he wanted to uncover who had instigated the young emperor. Perhaps that person knew more about Lin Mingyu. Deep down, Qi Zhen knew that after all this time, Lin Mingyu was unlikely to return. Cao Zhang asked, my lord, what should we do next? Qi Zhen stood up and said, prepare the carriage. I am going to the palace. He let out a cold laugh. If we can't find anything, I will ask directly. When Lin Yan saw Qi Zhen, he was completely stunned. Why is he here? The eunuchs and palace maids around all knelt down and performed a grand salute. Qi Zhen did not even glance at them and walked straight up to him. I came specifically to thank His Majesty for the dishes. Lin Yan stepped back repeatedly. Song Ming sent them to you, you should thank him instead. Internally, he was furiously criticizing Qi Zhen for his lack of manners. He said he came to express gratitude, yet he neither knelt nor bowed. What an arrogant attitude. Qi Zhen chuckled lightly. I saw something interesting just now. Would His Majesty be interested in accompanying me to take a look? Lin Yan shook his head, and Qi Zhen narrowed his eyes dangerously. Lin Yan quickly nodded repeatedly. The oppressive aura Qi Zhen exuded was simply overwhelming. His instincts told him that if he dared to refuse, Qi Zhen would drag him out without hesitation. Qi Zhen turned slightly, smiled faintly, and extended his hand toward him. Then, let His Majesty follow me. The young emperor stared at Qi Zhen's outstretched hand and involuntarily swallowed hard. He felt as if Qi Zhen was inviting him to descend into hell. Someone, help me, save me, sob sob sob. Qi Zhen led him to the prison. The sound of whips striking flesh echoed sharply in the narrow, empty cells, each lash accompanied by piercing screams. Lin Yan felt his legs weaken. Qi Zhen would not go mad and commit regicide here, would he? It is hard to say. Really hard to say. Qi Zhen walked ahead, leisurely as if strolling through a garden. Seeing Lin Yan fall behind a few steps, Qi Zhen turned back. The sunlight streaming through the high windows of the cell fell on his profile. A mix of light and shadow that made the curve of his lips appeared chilling. Your Majesty, he said, the two words sounding like a death curse. Lin Yan hurried to catch up. Qi Zhen's cold voice rang out again. I assume His Majesty has never been here before. Be careful. You never know when you might step into a puddle of sticky blood. Lin Yan's hair stood on end. Sob sob sob. Qi Zhen is scaring me. Qi Zhen revealed just a hint of his figure. The supervising official nearby quickly stood up, rushing over obsequiously to bow and scrape before Qi Zhen. Your Highness, what brings you here? The man being punished suddenly screamed and cursed. Qi Zhen, you bastard, the late emperor treated you well, yet you harm your brothers. Deceive your superiors, usurp power, manipulate politics, you won't end up. Before the last three words could be uttered, the supervising official punched him, silencing him. Defying authority and speaking such madness, I think you are courting death. Qi Zhen, unperturbed, accepted the cup of hot tea handed to him by the official and took a sip. He glanced up at the terrified young emperor and sneered, Your Majesty, are you scared? Whether the emperor was scared or not, the others in the prison were terrified. How could the regent bring the emperor here and treat him with such disregard? The emperor stood while he sat. The emperor was dumbfounded, and he sipped his tea. A man who had just been tortured shouted, Your Majesty, even if you are not fully sound of mind, you should open your eyes and see the truth. How can someone like him be fit to hold office in our dynasty? Do you know how many people he has killed? Qi Zhen smiled and helpfully answered, Your Majesty, I can't quite remember. Directly or indirectly, it must be as many as an entire city. Lin Yan took a fearful step back. The man continued, Your Majesty, this man kills indiscriminately, defies the law, and is nothing but a madman. He does not even see you as his ruler. If this continues, our dynasty will surely fall, Your Majesty. Lin Yan was utterly distraught. He knew all this, but what could a fool like him do? Could he simply tell Qi Zhen to stop killing, and Qi Zhen would listen? Please. This kind of thing should be handled by Song Ming. He is the real protagonist here. Qi Zhen suddenly pulled the young emperor closer and laughed. Your Majesty fears me. And that is understandable. After all, so many people want to oppose me. Tell me, why is it that everyone has the same pair of eyes and the same nose and mouth? Yet some people are just so irritating to look at. Qi Zhen forcefully grabbed his face and made him look at the beaten man. Your Majesty, do you find him irritating? Lin Yan trembled in fear. What are you trying to do? Qi Zhen leaned in slightly and whispered in his ear. I have a question that has been bothering me. I want your Majesty to help me solve it. Since last winter until today, has anyone mentioned a certain person to you? Lin Yan stammered. Who? Qi Zhen enunciated each word clearly. Lin Shoyan. Upon hearing this, Lin Yan's pupils shrank. He had not expected Qi Zhen to still remember Lin Shoyan. The young emperor's facade finally crumbled. Qi Zhen assumed the young emperor was being manipulated, imitating his late crown princess. Not only did he bring the emperor to the prison to frighten him, but he also delivered a harsh kick. Lin Yan was terrified. What are you trying to do? Qi Zhen leaned close to his ear and said coldly. Since last winter until today, has anyone mentioned a certain person to you? Lin Yan stammered. Who? Qi Zhen enunciated each word. Lin Shoyan. Lin Yan broke out in a cold sweat, trembling in fear. Qi Zhen grabbed his chin and sneered. Can't remember, no matter. I am not patient with others, but I will still give your Majesty some leeway, he said and fiercely pinched Lin Yan's chin, pressing him onto the rack used for binding prisoners. The heavy scent of blood filled the air, and even from the corner of his eye, he could see the flesh torn open by the whip. Lin Yan trembled with fear, feeling nauseous. The prisoner's curses were incessant. Qi Zhen, are you crazy? His Majesty is of noble status. How dare you treat him like this? Do you know this is a crime punishable by the extermination of your entire clan? Qi Zhen chuckled softly, releasing his grip on Lin Yan's chin. The laughter echoed eerily. Even the throne was given by me. What would not I dare to do? What would not I dare to do? Lin Yan stammered. I. The prisoner continued to curse. Qi Zhen frowned. With all this noise, I can't hear what His Majesty is saying. Make him mute for me. Make him mute for me. Lin Yan's hair stood on end, looking at Qi Zhen in horror. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed the jailer approaching with red-hot tongs. Qi Zhen, what are you doing, you madman? Even if I go to hell, I won't let you go. Before he could finish cursing, the tongs were forcibly shoved into the man's throat. Being so close, Lin Yan heard the sizzling sound of flesh being seared. The man screamed in agony, almost tearing his eardrums. Terrified, he wished he could curl up into a ball, not wanting anyone to see him. He wanted to hide. Why had Qi Zhen become like this? It was terrifying. Qi Zhen saw him trembling, curled up. He smiled calmly. If I let a prisoner insult me, then I would truly be insane. Lin Yan slowly lifted his eyes to meet Qi Zhen's gaze. At that moment, Qi Zhen saw the image of the young emperor overlapping with Lin Shoyan. Qi Zhen's eyes suddenly turned cold. With a bang, he kicked his shoulder. Caught off guard, Lin Yan was flipped over, his waist hitting the table, causing his vision to blur with pain. Qi Zhen's cold voice came through. Who taught you to imitate him? Before passing out, he could not understand how Qi Zhen had become like this. Lin Yan developed a fever as soon as he returned to the palace, and in his days, he dreamed of the past Qi Zhen. He walked past the doorway, standing tall, wearing a dark cyan robe. The fur on the robe was blown by the wind, adding a lively touch to his handsome face. Lin Yan was momentarily captivated. Gigi smiled and asked him, Crown Princess, what are you looking at? The wind is so strong. Are not you cold? Lin Shoyan murmured. Brother is back. I am watching brother. His gaze followed him continuously. After seeing Qi Zhen's slight glance, it was followed by his gentle voice. Mingyu, have you been waiting for me long? Lin Yan slowly opened his eyes and silently sighed. The day's stress was overwhelming. Even a nap brought dreams of the past with Qi Zhen. He did not expect Qi Zhen to have gone mad like this. It seems urgent to save the darkened male lead. Suddenly, he realized someone was holding his hand. He turned to see Song Ming, who looked worried. You are awake? Lin Yan asked when he arrived. Song Ming held his hand tightly. Your Majesty, I am your concubine. Seeing you trapped in a nightmare, my heart aches. Lin Yan was speechless, thinking, you are Qi Zhen's wife. Do not call me that. If he were not the protagonist, Lin Yan would have kicked him away. The next second, Song Ming cried and hugged him. Your Majesty, do not try to please the regent anymore. He is terrifying. Can't we just live peacefully as wealthy idle people? Lin Yan was too tired to retort, thinking, why do not you have any awareness of being Qi Zhen's main wife? He felt if Qi Zhen continued like this, he would break down sooner. He needed to get Song Ming to Qi Zhen quickly, so he cheerfully invited Song Ming to go out of the palace tonight. Song Ming was excited. Your Majesty, are you inviting me to see the Spring Lantern Festival? Today's festival is for lovers to meet, hang love poems, and pick 2 bags. If you find a matching lantern, you can lift it. Isn't that nice? Lin Yan quickly shook his head. No, no, no. Hanging a love lantern with Qi Zhen's wife, he must have a death wish. Song Ming held his hand. Just write a couple of lines, Your Majesty, please. In the end, Lin Yan could not resist Song Ming's persistence and his own desire to send him to Qi Zhen, so he casually wrote a couple of lines. Song Ming praised his handwriting. Upon hearing this, Little Jin glanced at the young emperor. Song Ming kept praising, and Lin Yan scratched his head in embarrassment. Stop praising me, I am getting embarrassed. Busy talking to Song Ming, he did not notice Little Jin taking the paper he had casually written on. Little Jin's expression changed slightly. The young emperor's handwriting was always ugly. Definitely not like this. Something was wrong. Xiao Jinzi took the note and hurried out of the palace. At the regent's residence, he handed the note to Qi Zhen. My lord, today His Majesty plans to go out with Consort Song to see the lanterns. He just wrote this. I noticed the handwriting seems a bit off, so I brought it to you for review. Someone, prepare the horse. Finally, on this New Year's Day, Qi Zhen had waited long enough to see his crown princess. But why does not the Yan Yan he longs for recognize him? Tonight is New Year's Eve. Xiao Ju wishes all the viewers a happy new year. May the new year bring you even more happiness. Without further ado, let us continue. Last time, Xiao Jinzi took the note written by the young emperor and quickly went to the regent's residence to find Qi Zhen. The moment Qi Zhen saw the handwriting, his eyes widened. He stood up in a hurry. Someone, prepare the horse. The streets were crowded with people. Qi Zhen's horse could not make its way through the packed streets. He sat on horseback, anxiously scanning the crowd from the street entrance. Amid the bustling crowd, that familiar figure was nowhere to be seen. Qi Zhen furrowed his brows. Where on earth is Lin Shouyan? He recalled an hour earlier when he compared the note Xiao Jinzi brought with a wish plaque. The young emperor's handwriting and Yan Yan's handwriting were exactly the same. Xiao Jinzi mentioned that His Majesty had playfully swung the brush horizontally, splattering ink all over him. His Majesty had never behaved like this before. After confirming more details with Xiao Jinzi, Qi Zhen realized that this mischievous habit of flicking the brush was unique to his Yan Yan. No matter how strange the circumstances, he was convinced that Qi Yan was the person he was searching for. Riding his horse, Qi Zhen could not get through the main street, so he turned into a side alley. He led the horse, weaving through the crowd, while glancing down the alley connected to the main street, hoping to find him. Suddenly, Qi Zhen stopped in his tracks, his eyes widening as he looked at the scene not far away. Song Ming held a lantern and asked his brother, do you think this looks good? The young emperor, biting into a candied hawthorn, shook his head. Not good, let us go. Qi Zhen watched him eat, his mouth smeared with sugar. Even the way he licked the frosting was exactly like Yan Yan. The fortress he built in his heart for Lin Mingyu collapsed, revealing the hidden gem inside. It was him, it was indeed Yan Yan. He had finally returned. Song Ming picked up another lantern, eagerly asking, brother, how about this one? Let us buy it. This lotus lantern even has a little rabbit in the middle. Lin Yan frowned and turned away. No, no. Qi Zhen did not like. Before he could finish speaking, his wrist was suddenly grabbed tightly. Don't like what? Lin Yan turned his head in confusion, only to see Qi Zhen standing in front of him, eyes slightly red, as if he had run over. Qi Zhen frowned, opened his mouth several times, finally finding a suitable term. I have been looking for you everywhere. Lin Yan stepped back in horror. What the hell, Qi Zhen? Why is he back here? Qi Zhen saw him retreat half a step and the fear on his face, suddenly recalling what he had done to him in the cell the day before. His expression showed regret. His gaze heated as he stepped closer, wanting to see if there was a bruise on his waist, wanting to hold him, wanting to embrace him. Seeing this, Song Ming gritted his teeth and stood between Qi Zhen and the young emperor, glaring. What are you doing? Qi Zhen, annoyed by the interruption, said darkly, it is none of your business. Song Ming was scared but wanted to win the emperor's favor, so he mustered the courage to say, if you keep squeezing him like that, it will hurt. With this reminder, Qi Zhen eased his grip slightly but did not let go, examining Lin Yan's hand in his palm. Indeed it was red. Thinking of this, Qi Zhen gently rubbed his fingers over it. Lin Yan broke out in a cold sweat, even more frightened. He suddenly pulled his hand back and shouted, what are you doing? Thinking to himself, what is going on? Qi Zhen actually tried to massage his hand. Qi Zhen looked at his now empty palm in confusion, feeling a void in his heart. How could his Yan Yan, who cared so much for him, not recognize him? Qi Zhen lowered his gaze, composed himself, and said, I heard His Majesty snuck out. There are so many people on the streets, I was worried something might happen to you. Lin Yan was speechless. Do you think I believe you? Qi Zhen snatched the lantern from Song Ming's hand and asked Lin Yan, is this the lantern His Majesty wants? He left in a hurry and did not bring money, so he casually pulled off the jade pendant from his clothing and handed it to the vendor as payment. Song Ming frowned, picked up another lantern, and said, Your Majesty, how about you set this one with me? This one looks better. Lin Yan rubbed his forehead in exasperation. Song Ming, you are trying to curry favor with the wrong person. Lin Yan sneaked a glance at Qi Zhen and, as expected, he was furiously jealous, even his gaze was fierce. Lin Yan quickly pushed the lantern back. Song Ming, you can set it yourself. I do not want any of yours. I will set one myself. Qi Zhen frowned, looking visibly displeased. The vendor nervously handed over the lantern. Before the lantern even reached Lin Yan's hand, Qi Zhen intercepted it halfway. Your Majesty, let me carry it for you, he said, then grabbed his hand and started walking forward. It was one thing to take his lantern, but now he was holding his hand too. What had gotten into Qi Zhen today? Lin Yan looked at him in confusion, but somehow felt that his gaze today carried a hint of gentleness and sorrow. Qi Zhen turned back and said, there are too many people here. If His Majesty gets lost again, where would I even begin to look for you? Lin Yan silently stared at him. So that is why. He did not resist anymore, nor did he dare to. He simply followed the crowd forward. Exposed Qi Zhen had gotten the little emperor drunk. The young emperor inadvertently exposed himself. Last time, Qi Zhen not only took the young emperor's lantern but also held his hand. Lin Yan thought Qi Zhen must have taken the wrong medicine today. He looked at Qi Zhen with suspicion. But somehow, his gaze seemed somewhat gentle and pained today. Qi Zhen held his hand tightly, saying there were many people here, and it was crowded. If His Majesty got lost again, where would he find him? Lin Yan did not resist anymore, allowing Qi Zhen to hold his hand as they moved forward with the crowd. The three of them walked to the riverside. Song Ming held the lantern, looking shyly at Lin Yan, hoping he could be with His Majesty forever. Qi Zhen shot him a chilly glance, inwardly sneering at his audacity. Song Ming was a noble consort appointed by him after all. Lin Yan's face turned pale upon hearing this. He hurriedly waved his hand, saying no, you always share candies with me, and I do not have enough for myself. He thought Qi Zhen was really making a fool of himself, sending his own wife to him and personally putting a green hat on himself. In the end, it would surely be him who suffered. Qi Zhen's lips curled slightly upon hearing this. He looked at the young emperor with a gentle expression, suggesting they release the lantern together. Saying this, he pulled the young emperor down to squat. He gently placed the lantern on the water, and with a light flick of his other hand, the lantern spun and floated away. Lin Yan watched the lantern float away for a long time before retracting his gaze to look at Qi Zhen. He smiled, saying it floated far away. Halfway through his words, he noticed Qi Zhen was looking at him with deep affection, his eyes focused and profound, as if there were whirlpools in them, ready to draw someone in. Lin Yan uneasily asked why he was looking at him like that, thinking he might be annoyed by his chatter and wanted to stuff coal into his mouth. Thinking of this, he hurriedly raised his hand to cover his mouth. Qi Zhen took out a handkerchief from his pocket and carefully wiped the water off his hands. Your Majesty's hands got wet and are even colder now. Lin Yan had no idea what he was up to. He was so harsh yesterday, but today he is being gentle. Lin Yan quickly pulled his hand back, sensing something was off. Qi Zhen's hand was left empty, and his heart sank. He looked apologetic. Your Majesty, I owe you an apology. It was my fault for frightening you the other day. I thought someone was scheming behind your back. Are you hurt, Your Majesty? Lin Yan pointed at his waist. His waist was bruised. Qi Zhen hurriedly reached out to touch the spot he indicated, unable to stop himself from pulling him 2 steps closer. Have you applied any medicine? Lin Yan gave a softum in reply. A look of remorse showed in Qi Zhen's eyes. I have good salve at my residence. I will have them send it over in a bit. Your Majesty, can you forgive me? Lin Yan looked at Qi Zhen in shock. Eyes widening. Apologizing is one thing, but actually asking for forgiveness has not. He always looked down on the little emperor. Is Qi Zhen trying to lull his guard and then kill him to seize power and the throne? There is really no need, just say the throne will be handed over. Seeing Qi Zhen's momentum flag, Song Ming's own swagger rose and he immediately stepped up. Regent, and you still want to beg forgiveness? Do you know that after His Majesty went out with you, he came back running a fever the whole night, and he was still coughing this morning? Qi Zhen, heartsick, took Lin Yan's hand. Your Majesty, it was all my fault. Then he turned and shot a look at the man beside him. The man got the signal. He immediately stepped forward, raised his hand and chopped at Song Ming's neck, a hand strike knocking him out cold. Lin Yan's eyes bulged like bronze bells. He cried out, "Song Ming!" Qi Zhen stepped up and said, "Your Majesty, I won't hurt him, I am just taking him to my place." Hearing that, Lin Yan was thrilled. Well, that is perfect. This was exactly why he came out. Now he did not have to do it himself. Having Song Ming bundled up and tossed into the regent's manor saved him the trouble. Qi Zhen stared steadily at him. "Your Majesty, do not you have something to say to me?" Lin Yan shook his head. Qi Zhen's gaze was bare, as if dissecting him with his eyes. Seeing through the skin into what lay beneath, as though he wanted to swallow him whole, Qi Zhen gazed at him quietly. "Yan, is it that you do not remember me, or are you angry and do not want to acknowledge me?" After a moment, Qi Zhen asked, "Go back to the palace?" "Yes." After escorting him back to the palace, Qi Zhen did not leave, but followed him to his bedchamber. Lin Yan could not understand what Qi Zhen was up to, why he kept following him. Before long, Xiao Jinzi came over carrying a teapot and poured him a full cup. Lin Yan lifted the teacup, using drinking tea to cover his embarrassment. He took a sip and found it quite good. This was not like tea, fragrant and sweet, with a hint of alcohol. Xiao Jinzi explained that this was a fine brew the prince loved to drink. It was not very strong, and his majesty could have some too. Lin Yan stared in surprise at the wine jug in Xiao Jinzi's hand. Do they serve wine in the palace in jugs this big? Xiao Jinzi just chuckled outwardly, thinking to himself. Of course not, this is the prince trying to get you drunk. He poured a cup and handed it to him. Qi Zhen raised his cup to him with a smile. Your subject will drink with your majesty. With the horrors of the other day still vivid in his mind, how would Lin Yan dare not drink? He hurriedly raised his cup to clink with Qi Zhen's again and again. His head felt hot and swollen, yet he was buzzing with excitement. As he drank, he felt something was off. Was Qi Zhen planning to get him drunk and then do him in? He leaned forward to see Qi Zhen's face clearly. Then plopped right into his arms, tilting his head up to ask, "Why is your face all blurry?" Qi Zhen frowned slightly. He would barely had any and was already drunk. He spoke haltingly, Yan. Lin Yan, cheeks flushed, looked at Qi Zhen. "What are you calling me for?" Light flashed in Qi Zhen's eyes. He actually responded. He really was his Yan. Qi Zhen took him by the wrist, drew him into his arms, and set him on his lap. Lin Yan paused for a moment, his intoxicated eyes fixed on Qi Zhen's profile. Curling his lips into a smile, he said, "Brother, listen, Yan's heart is all aflutter. You scared me. You are so scary. My dear, give me a kiss." He wished he could devour his Yan, kneading him into his very bones and blood. Last time, we said Qi Zhen was plying Lin Yan with drink. After a few drinks, Lin Yan was already quite drunk. Qi Zhen frowned. He had not even had much, and he was already drunk. He struggled to speak. Yan. Lin Yan stared blankly at Qi Zhen. "What are you calling me for?" Qi Zhen's pupils dilated slightly, light flashing in his eyes. "Sure enough," he answered. Qi Zhen took his wrist and pulled him into his arms. Lin Yan paused for a beat, then wrapped his arms around his neck, his intoxicated eyes on Qi Zhen as he smiled. "Brother, listen, Yan's heart is pounding, is not it? It is all because you scared me." Qi Zhen's breathing quickened at once, dazzled by the smile on his face and those enticing eyes, his gaze burning and his heart in chaos. He lowered his head to kiss him, but was pushed away with a teasing smile. That hand had little strength, coyly resisting yet inviting, almost twisting his waist to send himself into Qi Zhen's arms. With just a bit more force, Qi Zhen captured his lips. Lin Yan let out a muffled and tipped his head back, making it easier for Qi Zhen to deepen the kiss. This long-awaited reunion of a kiss was hot and forceful, blending with the alcohol to numb the nerve in his brain called reason, sending excited sensation to every last nerve ending. Qi Zhen simply scooped him up by the waist and set him down on the soft brocade bedding. The moment his hand moved to the belt, it was pressed down. Lin Yan gave Qi Zhen a sly smile. "No, brother, you are not mine anymore." Qi Zhen leaned in, fixing his gaze on him, and said word by word, "I am." Lin Yan smiled. "You are not. You do not even like me." Qi Zhen's brow furrowed slightly. "You think I do not like you, so you won't acknowledge me?" Lin Yan shook his head slightly. Qi Zhen pondered for a moment and asked, "Mingyu, what is your name?" Lin Yan paused. "Lin Shouyan." Qi Zhen frowned. "I am asking for your real name." Lin Yan rubbed his chin and thought for a while. He then grinned from ear to ear. "Can't say." Qi Zhen mused. If he can't tell his true name, there must be some kind of bind on him. "Fine, we won't press it. As long as he is Mingyu. He does not care what body he is in." Qi Zhen asked again, "You can't tell me your identity either." Lin Yan nodded obediently. Qi Zhen, thoughtful, asked, "Your being able to come back, does it have anything to do with Song Ming?" Lin Yan nodded again, hard. Qi Zhen asked again, "You are here to protect him?" Lin Yan nodded once more. "You could say that." Qi Zhen felt he had his answer, pinched his chin with his fingertip and smiled, thinking, drunk as he is, he will answer anything so adorable. "I am afraid that Song Ming is some reincarnated immortal. or demon. The condition for Yan Yan to return must be to shield him in the human world. Stories often have this plot. Qi Zhen pulled Lin Yan into his arms, held him tight, and said, "Put him with me. I will take care of him, how about that?" Hearing that, starlight filled Lin Yan's eyes. "You will take care of him, okay, more than okay." Qi Zhen lowered his gaze, fixing it on his face. Their eyes clung to each other, and the room seemed to grow warmer. Qi Zhen cupped his face, like he was admiring a beloved treasure he could not put down, and asked softly, "Mingyu, did you come back for me?" Lin Yan answered without a second thought. "Yeah." Inwardly he grumbled, "It is all because of you going dark and breaking free of the system's control. The world was about to collapse. How could I not come back?" That unhesitating "yeah" made Qi Zhen's heart seize. Holding his face, he called, "Mingyu, I am so happy." With that, like a green lad who has not even had his first taste of flesh, he kept kissing him until he could not take it anymore. Only then did Lin Yan push Keijun away. Keijun looked at him with tenderness all over his face. "You won't tell me your name. Then I will call you Qingqing from now on, all right?" At Qingqing, Lin Yan lifted his head, looking blank. "Kiss kiss." Then he tipped up his chin and planted a kiss right on Qijun's lips. Keijun chuckled, "You are quite clingy. Qingqing, I am so happy." Inwardly he could not help thinking, "Qingqing really is a good form of address." Lin Yan said disdainfully, "Are you done yet? You do not like me yet you still tell me to kiss you." With that, he pecked Keijun on the lips again. Keijun cupped his face, staring at him without blinking. "Who said I do not like you?" But Lin Yan suddenly said he was dizzy and wanted to sleep. Keijun let out a helpless sigh, "All right." He immediately helped him lie down, then took his hand to his lips and kissed it again and again. "Sleep well." Keijun could more or less guess when he had come back. After quite a while he finally called Xiao Jinzi in. Xiao Jinzi bowed. Keijun lowered his voice and ordered, "From the day the little emperor stopped breathing and then came back to life up to today, I want to know every single thing that happened." Xiao Jinzi did not understand why, but seeing how Keijun had just treated the little emperor differently than usual, he grinned obsequiously to curry favor. His Majesty said he likes this slave very much. Qijun's face darkened at once. He kicked Xiao Jinzi away. "Get out." He confessed. He confessed. He confessed. He confessed. Keijun finally confessed to his Yan Yan. After Lin Yan fell asleep, Keijun lovingly kissed his hand. He could roughly guess when Mingyu had come back. He then summoned Xiao Jinzi and instructed him that from the day the little emperor stopped breathing and then came back to life up to today, he wanted to know every last thing. After Xiao Jinzi withdrew, Keijun sat by the bed, and looking at the person sunk into the soft brocade quilt, he could not help reaching out to gently caress his cheek. Even after touching, it still did not feel like enough. The pads of his fingers lightly stroked over him. Mingyu, this was his Mingyu. Out of the corner of his eye he inadvertently caught sight of the flowers in the vase in the hall. Mingyu had once had Song Ming send him flowers, day after day. But he had not even looked at them before having people throw them out. He had no idea what flowers they were. Mingyu gave him so many hints, but he, stubborn as he was, failed to get them. He even took him to that filthy dungeon, roughing him up and interrogating him, threatening and intimidating him. Qi Zhen let out a sigh. Mingyu had even asked someone to bring him food, but he fed it to the dogs. At the thought, he carefully pulled open Lin Yan's clothes. There were still bruises on his lower back that had not faded. He touched it lightly, and Lin Yan let out a couple of soft grunts. Qi Zhen lowered his head and put a patch on his lower back. Then he took Lin Yan by the wrist, the pad of his finger resting on his pulse, and stared at Lin Yan without moving for a long, long time. "Mingyu, I am sorry. And thank you for coming back." The next day, with the sun shining bright, when Lin Yan groggily opened his eyes, he saw Qi Zhen's face. He thought he was still in the Eastern Palace, and it seemed he had not touched Qi Zhen for a while. So without thinking, he reached out to run his hands over him, savoring that long-missed feel. But halfway through, my hands suddenly got tied. Qi Zhen frowned, his voice a little restrained, "Your Majesty." Lin Yan jolted with a start, sat up clutching the quilt, like a maiden whose chastity had been taken. "Wait, no, that is not right. He is the simple-minded emperor now. How could he possibly be sharing a bed with Qi Zhen?" Qi Zhen was surprised by his reaction, paused, and said, "Your Majesty drank last night and were not very well behaved. A bit rambunctious. I was afraid you might have an accident, so I stayed over." In truth, he did not dare leave at all, afraid something would happen the moment he was not there. Lin Yan nodded woodenly. Qi Zhen got up, took the clothes from the rack, and put them on. "A momentary impulse from your Majesty, I did not take it to heart." When he glanced back, he saw the person wrapped in the quilt watching him warily. That guarded look pierced Qi Zhen deeply. He knew better than anyone what he was like now. He would scared Mingyu, and Mingyu even thought he did not like him. Qi Zhen's face was full of indulgence, his voice low and gentle. "Your Majesty need not be afraid. The prisoner in the dungeon that day was a heinous criminal who deserved to die. Some of the methods were rather harsh, but I was clear-headed and knew exactly what I was doing." He lifted his eyes and looked at him steadily, as if explaining to an intimate lover. I would never offend your majesty. I have someone I love, my first spouse. His name is Lin Shoyan. Courtesy name Mingyu. Lin Yan's eyes instantly widened. You are lying, are not you? Qi Zhen enunciated, I am not. Does your majesty not already know, I did not take the throne all because. When I sought an antidote for him back then, I agreed to the late emperor's condition that I would not ascend the throne. Hearing this, Lin Yan was dumbfounded. What the hell, there was even a deal like that? How did he not know? He hurriedly tried to pull up the system interface. Crap, am I still not awake? System. Qi Zhen kept his eyes on him and went on, I am very sad. I did not even get the chance to tell him I liked him. Your majesty may not know, on New Year's Eve that year, I asked him to promise me he would stay with me forever and ever. The sheer amount of information left Lin Yan petrified. He frantically mashed the emergency call button. Crap, this is bad. Big trouble. System, get out here, I need you. But then Qi Zhen's voice came again. Your majesty, why are not you saying anything? Lin Yan snapped back to himself. At some point Qi Zhen had leaned right up to his face. So close he could feel his breath. Qi Zhen pressed the back of his hand to Lin Yan's forehead, then touched his own. As his gaze dipped, he caught a glimpse down the slightly open collar at fair, delicate skin, smooth as porcelain. The move left Lin Yan utterly speechless. Then, after saying that, Qi Zhen withdrew his gaze and rose calmly, and that whole sequence left Lin Yan completely at a loss. Just then the system rushed over in a panic, asking what was wrong, what big thing had happened. Inside, Lin Yan was screaming, Qi Zhen just confessed to me. Now it was the system's turn to freeze. Does Qi Zhen really love him that much? So much for any so-called change of heart. It is only because the person he loves most has come back. In the last episode, Qi Zhen told Lin Yan he loves his crown princess. His name is Lin Shoyan, courtesy name Mingyu, and he hopes he will stay with him forever. Shocked, Lin Yan frantically hammered the call button for the system. This is bad. We have got a huge problem. The system hurried over, asking what was wrong, what big thing had happened. Inside, Lin Yan screamed, Qi Zhen confessed to me. What the hell do I do? The little system stalled for a few seconds. Qi Zhen lowered his eyes, then lifted the corners of his lips in a smile that was gentle yet heartbreaking. Your majesty, you and he are both not quite sound of mind. I imagine it is even easier for your hearts to connect. If you see him in your dreams, could you tell him for me? I miss him to the point of illness. I am mad with longing. Lin Yan and the little system were completely dumbfounded. This is bad. Looking at Lin Yan's dazed expression, Qi Zhen felt it was a little cute, so cute it made his heart itch, yet also a bit sour. Though he would never directly said he liked him. How could he not have noticed at all? Seeing him so startled now was his own fault. He should have told him earlier. Qi Zhen frowned. And, your majesty, I did not actually kill that many people. I only said that to scare you that day. Of course, that was not true. In reality, he himself had changed too much. But he did not want him thinking he was a butcher who killed without blinking. After a pause, Qi Zhen asked, what would your majesty like for breakfast? I will inform the imperial kitchen. Lin Yan had no mind to think about breakfast right now and fobbed him off with a couple of perfunctory words. Then he started arguing with the system. What is with your protagonist? How is he even breaking character and falling for a game NPC? The system shot back. Isn't it all because you were being such a flirt? Qi Zhen nodded, took 2 steps toward the door, then suddenly looked back with a smile and said, Xiao Jinzi has served your majesty for a long time. He wants to go home. I have approved it. Any objections, your majesty? Lin Yan's head was pounding. How did he have the time to worry about Xiao Jinzi or Xiao Yinzi right now? The sky was practically falling. Qi Zhen, however, was in high spirits. His Mingyu had returned. He would never let go again. He secretly clenched his fists. Watching Qi Zhen's departing back, Lin Yan asked the system, tell me, now that Lin Shoyan has become the white moonlight in Qi Zhen's heart, won't it get harder for Song Ming to win him over? The system, hey. Lin Yan consoled himself, but they are the destined leads, the author's chosen rock-solid couple. It should be fine. The system still went hey. Lin Yan glared. Hey again and I will give you a bad review. The system immediately stopped. Mr. Lin, do you have any good solutions? Lin Yan put on his outer robe, gaze firm. Persuade him to let it go. Suddenly, flustered footsteps and calls sounded outside the hall. Your majesty, the eunuchs held people back at the door. Lord Qin, you can't go in. No, Lord Wang, you can't either. Lord Zhang. Don't stop me. Lin Yan turned his head and happened to see an official shouting for the emperor. 3 or 4 people came in behind him. They were from that damned emperor's faction. The leading official said anxiously, we heard that Qi Zhen grabbed his majesty on the street. Then followed him into the palace and kept him there all night. He did not even come to morning court. A whole night is too long. Anything could have happened. Lord Zhang grabbed at Lin Yan's clothes to pull them open. Your majesty, pardon the offense, let your subject see if you have been hurt. Lin Yan had never seen a scene like this. 4 or 5 men, all hands and feet, trying to strip his clothes. His robes were a mess, his belt yanked off. This was not checking for injuries, this was clearly taking advantage. He was shouting, "No, no, I do not want to," as he ran for the hall doors. Hearing the noise outside, Kejun turned back again. The young emperor, the moment he saw him, ran straight to him. Kejun asked what was wrong, and Lin Yan hurriedly ducked behind him. The few officials who had chased up behind them grew impatient. Meeting Qijun's cold, dangerous gaze a stark warning to think twice before taking another step, the lords froze. Lord Qin hastily hid the young emperor's belt behind his back and, grinning, explained, "We merely wished to see whether His Majesty suffered any injuries, nothing more." Kejun turned to straighten Lin Yan's clothes. "Do not be afraid, Your Majesty. It is all right now," he said, tugging out his own belt to fasten it on him. His waist was very slender. With a light wrap of the belt and the slightest tug, it cinched in his slim waist. Kejun could not help recalling how he used to like gripping his. Like this, he could not get away. Imitating what he used to do, Kejun gave his waist a discreet pat with both hands, only withdrawing after tying the belt. Lin Yan was taken aback. "If you were tying a belt, just tie a belt. What was the pinching for?" Who would have thought Kejun would rub his fingertips, lingering over the field just now. Seeing the young emperor standing there obediently raise your hand when Kejun said raise it, turn when he said turn, the officials felt sure he would bewitched him. Lord Wang said snidely, "The regent has his own residence. Why are you lodging in the palace?" Kejun said coolly, "His Majesty had a bit to drink last night." Lord Zhang immediately cried, "How could you give His Majesty wine?" Kejun looked softly at Lin Yan and smiled. "It won't happen next time." In an instant, question marks popped up on the ministers' faces. Had this treacherous rebel really turned over a new leaf today? In the past he would probably have given a cold laugh and retorted, "So he drank, what can you do to this prince?" Or he would have simply kicked Lord Zhang sprawling and, looking down from on high, said, "You think you are fit to meddle in my affairs?" Qi Zhen had only one wish, to rekindle things with his Yan Yan. But he did not know the person he pined for only wanted to finish the mission and go home early. "Last time we left off," Lord Wang snidely questioned Qi Zhen, since he had his own residence, why was he lodging in the palace? Qi Zhen shot him a cold look. "His Majesty had a bit of wine last night." Lord Zhang immediately cried, "How could you give His Majesty wine?" Qi Zhen lifted his eyes to glance at Lin Yan, smiled gently, and said, "It won't happen next time." In an instant, the ministers all looked baffled. This treacherous usurper Qi Zhen, has he turned over a new leaf today? The few lords exchanged glances, unable to read what card he was playing. Something's off. Qi Zhen is far too out of character today. If it were before, Qi Zhen would probably have let out a cold laugh and retorted, "So what if he drank? What can you do to me? You think you are fit to meddle in my affairs?" Lord Wang said, "Since His Majesty has had wine, his body must be somewhat unwell. Please summon the imperial physician to take his pulse." As soon as he said this, the others chimed in, "Yes, yes." Qi Zhen did not refuse. He actually had the imperial physician come take the pulse. The physician said His Majesty was perfectly fine, nothing serious. At that moment Lord Zhang suddenly said, "Wait, your word alone does not count. Please go to my manor and bring my household physician as well." Hearing this, the other lords suddenly saw the light. Right, Qi Zhen monopolizes the government. The entire imperial infirmary is probably under his thumb, so there is no telling whether the young emperor is truly unwell or not. Lin Yan wanted to say, "There is no need to make such a big fuss. Wouldn't I know if anything's wrong?" But likely no one wanted to hear a fool's opinion, even if that fool was the emperor. He glanced at Qi Zhen beside him. His eyes were lowered, who knew what he was thinking. Faced with such provocation, he actually remained unmoved, completely different from when they met in court the other day. At this moment even the lines of Qi Zhen's face seemed gentle, almost with a trace of fragility and loneliness. How is he completely different from the one in the dungeon? Lin Yan leaned in a little, raised a hand to shield his mouth, and whispered, "What is with you?" Qi Zhen lifted his gaze in puzzlement, and the eyes of the lords behind them instantly turned wary. Qi Zhen smiled, and in a gentle voice asked, "Your Majesty must be hungry. The kitchens have prepared breakfast. Shall this minister have them bring it in?" Lord Wang's jaw almost hit the floor. Minister, Qi Zhen refers to himself as this king no matter who he is talking to. Calling himself this minister today is definitely suspicious. The stubborn Lord Zhang pointed at Qi Zhen and asked, "What exactly are you trying to do?" He then cupped his hands to Lin Men, "Your Majesty, you should not eat this breakfast. How about allowing this minister to accompany Your Majesty out of the palace today to relax and try some breakfast outside?" Lin Yan glanced at Qi Zhen. Smiling, Qi Zhen asked, "Does Your Majesty want to go out to eat?" Lin Yan looked at Qi Zhen. "Are you going?" Qi Zhen countered, "Does Your Majesty want this minister to go?" Lin Men sighed, "Forget it, I would better not go." He thought to himself that leaving the palace was quite a hassle, and he did not know what Qi Zhen was up to. Qi Zhen narrowed his eyes with a smile. "All right, then have the eunuchs serve the meal." Hearing this, Lord Zhang immediately grew alert. "This minister will stay and dine with Your Majesty." The other lords hurried to chime in. "This minister will, too." What followed was this: several lords stood behind, staring fixedly at Qi Zhen, afraid he might harm the little emperor, looking as if they would not leave unless Qi Zhen did. Qi Zhen gave the eunuch serving the dishes a look. The eunuch took the hint and withdrew. Half an hour later, just as Qi Zhen and Lin Yan were eating with relish, someone rushed in to report. Lord Yang's son has been taken into custody. Lord Yang's face changed again and again. He was losing face. Your Majesty, please allow this minister to take his leave first. After a while, someone else came to report. Lord Qin's wife was taken hostage by bandits in the marketplace. Lord Wang's father had an accidental fall at home. And so on. The lords trickled off in twos and threes, and in an instant only Qi Zhen and the little emperor were left in the hall. Lin Yan looked up at Qi Zhen in puzzlement. Aren't you busy? He thought to himself, still not leaving. Hasn't Lai Ming already been sent to your residence? I have already created the perfect opportunity for you two. Why are not you taking it? Qi Zhen wore a sorrowful look. Your Majesty, this minister was reminded of his late wife yesterday and remains in grief. This minister does not wish to return home. Lin Yan urged, but your wife is dead. Inwardly, he was going crazy. That won't do your official matches at home. Hurry up and go. Stop hovering in front of me. You are an eyesore. Qi Zhen looked straight into Lin Yan's eyes, brimming with love and utterly captivating. But I can't forget, nor can I let go. I want to rekindle what I had with him. Lin Yan opened his mouth but could not speak for a long while. He felt like Qi Zhen's words just now were aimed at him. Was it an illusion? Qi Zhen turned his head so he was looking at him. Your Majesty, it was not easy for me to reach this position, and I have killed people in many situations where I had no choice. But compared to those I have killed, I have lost more. Many at court want me dead, so they constantly slander and insult me. They think I am a madman only because I am stronger than they are. In truth, they are no different from me. The court is full of strife. You kill me, I kill you. If I were not more guarded and forceful, I would probably be shot full of arrows just walking down the street. Qi Zhen's voice was gentle yet tinged with loneliness. About what happened in the dungeon last time, I truly wronged your Majesty. I regret it very much. I should not have dragged you into it. I frightened you. Lin Yan did not know what to say. He knew Qi Zhen had it rough, knew that his madness was largely caused by external circumstances. He would even played a part in fanning it himself. Most of all, Qi Zhen said he loved him. Lin Yan did not know what to do. He said softly, I am not angry with you. Hearing that, Qi Zhen finally showed a relieved smile. Then I truly must thank your Majesty. How about I accompany your Majesty for a stroll in the Imperial Garden? You must love admiring flowers, right? Time for a feast. Time for a feast. Qi Zhen actually took the opportunity, after the little emperor fell asleep, to secretly tuck into a big meal. Qi Zhen accompanied Lin Yan on a walk in the Imperial Garden. By chance they saw flowers in bloom there. He asked, Your Majesty, will you send me flowers today? Lin Yan felt a headache coming on. Don't you dislike flowers? Wait, you know it was me who had Song Ming deliver the gifts. He thought to himself that he would only done it to boost Song Ming's presence. Qi Zhen chuckled. I like them. Since they are from your Majesty, how could I not? Lin Yan blurted. If your spouse finds out, he will definitely be angry. How can you like the flowers I sent you? A faint, ambiguous smile appeared on Qi Zhen's face, and he could not help but pinch his earlobe. Your Majesty is right. I was wrong. How could I make my beloved wife angry? Lin Yan bristled. What are you doing? Qi Zhen explained naturally. There was something stuck here. Lin Yan half believed him and let out an "oh." After a few steps, he suddenly remembered a crucial question. By the way, when did you fall in love with your spouse? Qi Zhen seemed stumped by that, and only after thinking did he say. To be honest, your Majesty, I did not like my spouse from the beginning. That day he accidentally caught me killing someone, yet said he would keep it quiet for me, dig a pit for me. Only then did I start to pay attention to him. It was not until he leaned on my doorframe and said he wanted to give me a child that I truly noticed him. Qi Zhen seemed to recall something amusing and laughed. He is very cute, always saying foolish things. In all my life I have never met anyone so bold. Lin Yan thought Qi Zhen was definitely thinking about something indecent. Qi Zhen seemed completely immersed in his memories. Later, he snatched a jade pendant for me, hung votive plaques, left the door open for me. At night, even when he was dozing off, after I got into bed he would still come over, hold my hand, and mutter, why is it so cold? At night, chilled by my cold hands, he would press close, hold me, and warm me up. He was candid yet mischievous. When he learned to write, he insisted on learning the indecent stuff. Sometimes I even suspected he did it on purpose, just to tease me. Lin Yan was at a loss for words. Qi Zhen stood by the pool, his gaze cast into the distance. Remorse flickered in his eyes. Unwittingly, I had long since fallen deeply in love with him. It is just a pity he died because of me, yet even to his dying moment he never heard a single I like you from me. If I were him, I would definitely be angry. As he said this, Qi Zhen turned his head, his gaze falling on Lin Yan's face. Your Majesty, if he could hear all this, would he understand my feelings, forgive me, and come back to my side? Lin Yan was struck dumb, not knowing how to respond. He fought 300 rounds with the system in his mind, yet still could not settle on a suitable plan. The system told him to hold steady and first find a way to buy time. It would return to the hub to see what Qi Zhen said after Lin Yan left. Qi Zhen gazed at him, longing to pull him into his arms and hold him tight, so he would know how much he missed him, how much he liked him. Lin Yan smiled awkwardly. It is getting late, let us head back first. Qi Zhen smiled gently. I will do as your majesty says. After they returned to the bedchamber, the sky was already pitch dark. Looking at Qi Zhen sitting on the edge of the bed, Lin Yan asked, aren't you going home? Qi Zhen let out a sigh. Yesterday, when he accompanied your majesty to bed, he found your majesty slept rather restlessly. I was afraid something might happen to your majesty. So I stayed to keep you company. Lin Yan rolled his eyes. Who asked you to keep me company? You. Qi Zhen smiled and said, your majesty, rest easy. Aside from my lawful wife, everyone else is just a brother or a friend in my eyes. Lin Yan was at a loss for words. To Qi Zhen, he was just a mere puppet of a young emperor. Sharing a bed with him could also serve as surveillance. But to him it was not like that. Qi Zhen had just confessed to him how was he supposed to sleep. He could not sleep, simply could not. Qi Zhen noticed his vexation and, smiling, asked, shall I burn 2 slips of calming incense for your majesty? Lin Yan nodded like a pecking chick. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, still uneasy, he urged him to burn a couple more. Qi Zhen's hand paused slightly as he reached for the incense and he replied, as you command. The calming incense was not strongly scented, but its effect was damn potent. Before long, Lin Yan fell asleep. Qi Zhen sat at the bedside and lifted a hand to stroke his cheek. He was back truly, solidly right beside him. All day long he had kept his eyes on him. Not daring to relax, afraid he would vanish the next second, afraid this was all just a dream. Qi Zhen leaned down and brushed his lips against his. His heart felt steeped in honey. He was so happy, so delighted, so in love it made his chest ache. My dear, I can't hold back anymore. In the bronze mirror on the dressing table were reflected the belt and clothes flung beyond the bed curtain, lifted up and then falling quietly back down. Even if this were a dream, if he wanted it real, it could not stay false.